It's been the what? Anywho, hi, it's another
Hello.
one.
Howdy ho.
We're here.
Yep, just
Hi.
all of
Welcome
us
to your
are just
favorite
fucking terrible at this. Just terrible at
welcome to-
openings.
Welcome to your favorite podcast where we decided that a bunch of GameCube games are pretty good.
I love GameCube.
Alright.
I mean, GameCube is
All
pretty
right,
good.
Billy Hatcher
Or-
and the Giant Egg. Let's go.
Alright.
I
Oh,
haven't finished that
man.
game.
Let's talk about Geist.
Oh boy.
Alright, that and guide us too. That down there.
Goated. Cubivore. I
Gotcha
haven't played any of
robots.
these games.
Guys of Arcadia GameCube Edition.
That's what they called it, GameCube Edition.
I mean, it's actually called Legends. I have it up here. I should have looked at it before I said that, but it was too late.
Twin
Was-
Snakes discussion time.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on GameCube, or is that not?
Yep.
not-
It is.
Yes,
it's
it
also
is.
now on your PlayStation 4.
It's on a
Ooh.
couple of things, right?
Something. I think so.
But actually,
Wow.
fellas, it's time to talk about NBA Street Volume 3.
Whoa! Listen, if it's actually time to
Okay,
talk
hold
about
on.
NBA Street Volume 3.
Featuring Mario from Mario
No.
on the
One and
GameCube
only.
only. It's like Mario, Peach, and like
Luigi.
Luigi.
Mario, Peach, and
You can
Luigi,
cross
yeah.
up LeBron as Luigi. Finally. Video games are real. They've reached their potential.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have a very high graphics score because like that's canonically what Mario, Luigi, and Peach look like. That's them in the real world.
It's true. I can't wait to see this movie.
Well, he is
Yeah,
in the
this
hater
is,
box. Good lord.
this is footage of NBA Street Volume 3.
This is what it looks like, yeah. It's very different on the GameCube.
Mhm.
Oh
no.
shit! But yeah, I want to go first this time because I've been pitching this game for 3 goddamn times in a row. Now it's finally
Yeah.
time. I get to talk about Kirby's Forgotten Land.
We all played it.
We did all play
We
it.
did. We all played it.
Yep.
What'd you guys think?
It's okay.
No,
Pretty good.
it's great. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good.
Isn't it not? It's fantastic.
I thought it was just okay. It's no crystal shards, let me tell you. Now, let me take over.
I mean, it is no crystal shards because it doesn't
I-
have the tile menu.
For the first hour of this game, I would say this is no crystal shards, but it takes you give it a little bit and it gets there.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm
doing some
yeah,
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
work
yeah,
over
you-
here,
finished it
but-
like yesterday morning.
You did?
I finished like the final like.
Oh, you did it.
content.
You did all the content.
I guess I got like 96% completion because I'd have to go get a bunch of Waddle Dees and little gotcha figurines.
Whoa! Did you actually like do 100% run for yours?
I just said 96%.
No, but like, were you like attempting to do it for like the whole game?
I
Pretty
wasn't
much.
like going out of my way to be like, I will, like, I'm definitely getting 100%, but I tried to get as many Waddle Dees and the little orbs as I could, and did all the mini games, did like the highest level of all the mini games, and did all the arena stuff, and beat all the bosses and all that, got all the power-ups.
Like, did you? How many times do you have to replay this? There were definitely a few stages where, like, I had to like go back and like actually look around for them shits because it was.
Oh yeah, like all of them.
yeah,
yeah,
like, some
it
of
was-
them I'm like, damn.
So, the back half, the post game levels were nice because that blue rat basically is just like, you found everyone in this area. But in the base game, it was like, okay, let's just like check every corner and like hop off ledges and like bounce against ledges and shit until I make sure there's not like a secret hole here. But yeah, there were a couple of times where it's like I have to like go
Replay?
back and do a stage, but like this fucking conveyor belt right there had a couple of fuck yous here and there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like pretty much like I think I ended up getting like 260 Waddle Dees. So I think there was like missed about 1 per stage. He was usually like, oh, you didn't like you know, speak French to this guy in this corridor, and I was like, okay, well, there's just no chance of doing that, but you know, got a majority of them.
Yeah, I was very against using guides on this one, and I actually refused to progress until I had like 100% on everything until advancement.
You didn't
That
get
was
all the gotcha figure.
Okay, not those, but like Waddle Dees. Basically, I just lied. I'm a liar, but yes. Waddle
Okay.
Dees. Waddle Dee wise, I'm like, I'm not gonna move on until I have all the Waddle Dees. and I ended up going through like stages like multiple times for that shit.
Did you do all the treasure row?
No.
Oh no!
So I
Did you
guess
get-
then
did you get
that
every
means
copy
that
ability up to max.
oh,
What?
Did you level up all your copy abilities to have the pluses on
Oh,
them?
yeah, like the plus
Yeah, like-
triples.
Like a fucking 75-hour grind for no reason, just to get your first sword to be almost as strong as the last sword.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Post game's kind of nuts, honestly.
I really enjoyed the post game stuff, and then even after that, it's just like, oh, there's more.
Hey,
And I
there's
still-
more.
Have not beat the thing that they put down for me. In fact, I'm angry.
Oh my god.
So that means it's bad, right? It
No.
means either it's bad or you're bad.
Well, let's just say I was bad. I was bad at the game.
Well,
Holy
That's what
shit.
happened. However, I didn't make it to post game, so I'm gonna.
You did.
So I guess everyone here, other than me, spent at least some time in the post game. I looked at I got the last cutscene, like the last main story cutscene that said like, all right, that's cool. Like I rolled credits and was like, cool. I know that there was more post game for me to do, but like I did that not yesterday, but like 2 days ago, and was like, how much post game am I gonna be able to play through in a day?
Yeah, there's
it
probably
is-
about as much content post game as there was.
Yeah,
Which is
I might
crazy.
go back and do some of it.
Crazy
but,
to
like,
do.
Good.
Think
I
about
think it's really good. Like I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like a nice, like extra adventure, sure. But like it's like that's where like for me, like I really started liking this game like a lot more once I started doing that post game stuff, and I like this game already. Like just playing it. So if you like found it like all right, like you'll actually like open up and like more of it.
Yeah.
Like, they get really creative with like puzzles using the different abilities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty neat.
Oh, so relevance
start
though.
this,
Yeah. I mean, like the first thing is relevance, and I'm unfortunately, I don't see this game kind of marking high on there. Like it might have like a speed running scene or something, but
Oh, cultural relevancy.
It's the,
yeah.
Forgot about
It doesn't
It's the-
seem.
Because like every Switch release is the best-selling one in its franchise. It's the best-selling Kirby game, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, there are 8 Kirby games for the Switch, so
Holy fuck.
if you go
Yeah.
to the eShop and type in Kirby, which I did, I was like, oh, damn.
Or
I
you
just looked for the
just,
most expensive one and was like, it must be this one.
or you go to Kirby's house and he just has a list of every game released since.
Oh yeah.
No, not-
He
not
just
every
lists
game.
all the buttons.
It's just like it's the most recent ones.
Yeah. I don't even get to look at Kirby Dream Land on the Game Boy. I just get the weird like spin-off game.
The Wii U game, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
bullshit.
going through like my thing on cultural. Like where is this thing gonna fall?
Based on my chart, I think it fits at about an 8. It has a Smash character relevancy chart.
Do I still have that document? What happened to my document? Is it the
Yeah,
Google
for
document?
me, I'm trying to see where this would be. I'm gonna go ahead and just browse the ye old speedrunning scene for this game real quick.
The game's pretty new.
It's still being played a lot, so.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean, it's
see.
also new.
Yeah.
which
It's
yeah,
all, it
it's
came out
all-
last year. So
Which like
uh,
I mean the relevancy score might change in 5 years, but
yeah.
Mhm.
right
currently.
now,
Are
Yeah, as
people
of right
gonna?
now.
a hot new Kirby game.
I mean, definitely not new, but like yeah, it's still definitely new. Oh dear.
I feel like it is not quite a Nintendo mainline game because it's HAL Laboratories. Like it's not Mario and it's not The Legend of Zelda. It's Kirby. So I feel like for me, it's probably in like the range of like a 12 or 11.
Okay, so you have an 8 and a 12. We have to
Say
do
11.
do some real math today. All right.
Yeah, like
so,
Kirby's like one of those games where like everybody's mom probably knows who Kirby is because everyone had a Nintendo as a kid and probably had one Kirby game. But if you asked anybody to actually name a single Kirby game, they'd say Super Smash Bros.
I think Kirby as a character is really popular. Like, like if you go to the like if you're in a store that sells like video game memorabilia, like if you're in a GameStop,
You see a plushie Kirby.
you see a plushie of Kirby, and people own Kirby plushies, but like the games themselves are kind of like, yeah, people like that Nintendo 64 game, and people like the SNES game, but like
Air Ride's
the
a cult classic.
the Kirby game that they make every 3 months is not super popular.
God
They're
damn
like,
it,
oh, here's
like-
another like mini game thing that we made with Kirby in it. He's eating a bunch of pastries or whatever. Like those games are not popular.
When this game got announced, if you remember that trailer of like Kirby in like a post-apocalyptic mall, it was like, oh, they're actually doing something with Kirby.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, oh, this is something.
Oh, this is like happening. This is real.
This is like this is like a real full game, and not just like a here's something on the eShop for like $15.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
Kirby Fighters 3.
Yeah. Yes. Which I'm not saying all those games are necessarily terrible games, but you know those would be knocked down a couple points on the cultural relevancy. You know,
Like,
those are
how
not-
much should we remember like Dreamland or like
I remember
Crystal
Dreamland.
Shards or all like
Shards,
the
perfect.
actual last mainline Kirby games? Like, do they
Crystal
just
Shards is
tend to stick
actually
around, or
classic.
are we just kind of like nah?
Is
I
Epic
feel like-
Yarn? Epic Yarn.
Oh yeah, Kirby's. I
mainline?
don't even remember Epic Yarn.
I feel like
Yarn's a
that made
classic.
a.
I played it, but it's
I remember liking it, but it's just like yeah,
Forgotten Dreams.
I played it and just that's it. I played it, I liked it, and never went back to it. This definitely
I
has some
wonder
more going on.
how
than that,
much our reverence for Crystal Shards is because it was the game that we played as children.
but-
No,
100% that. But
I've played a lot of Kirby games since then, and I think I definitely like Crystal Shards is, you know,
It's still pretty
one
good.
of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, same here.
But there's also, you know, Kirby Superstar is like my other like super favorite, and so is Kirby Air Ride and Amazing Mirror. Like all those games are like 10 out of 10s in my opinion.
And now there's another.
And now
Hmm.
they finally added something.
now we
that's
now we go to
gotten
another.
close.
I'm gonna put this as
So,
a
okay,
10
what are we
for
saying
me.
on?
I'm going with a
cultural
10.
relevancy, I
10 on
guess?
mine.
You can go with 10. RJ, what's your...
Yeah. but-
I'm going with a 6.
yeah. I mean, like that's completely fair though. Like yeah, like because no one really gives a shit about Kirby. And
No.
he comes around, people are like Kirby, and then like he goes away. And that's
You see-
his,
So we have 6, 8, 10, and 12. So...
so.
No, I
9.
said 11.
Oh, 11.
No, yeah, 11, 6, 8, and 10 is yeah. So we get a 9 for that. Alrighty then. Moving on to the controls. I fucking love them. This is like 3D Kirby done like I know they were so skeptical skeptical. I'm like, how do we make Kirby like go in 3D? And they found like a lot of ways to kind of reel him in. Like his flying isn't super overpowered.
It's
It's
at
definitely
25%, right?
yeah, it's at 25%.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
like a
you definitely. I think it shines stronger like when they're like pushing you, like when you have to like do something in like a really tight amount of time. It's like when you really start getting a grasp for like just like how well everything kind of like
I think
handles.
that's fair. Because like when you're just kind of chunking along with
Yeah.
Kirby, it can be like, but there definitely it's like when I got to the part that was actually kind of like spicy. It's like, oh yeah, okay, nothing like ever fucked me over.
Yeah,
I
there's all
actually hard
nuances.
disagree with this.
Really?
I feel like
Yeah.
this is maybe the thing in this game that I like the least. Kirby's kind of chunky. He's kind of weighty in a way that, especially with some of the mouthful abilities, like we're looking at the being the thing. Like I remember this part, and I remember trying to jump around as this fucking vending machine, and it just not feeling super good because like you're this thing and you kind of waddle around, and it takes you a minute to turn around, and like all that stuff. I feel like once it decides to be a platformer, it kind of it's still fine, like it's still very functional, but like it's not super
Let me
precise,
say
it's
way
not super
beyond.
tight.
How
Just
much
like,
is
well,
Yeah,
that?
I would say it's very tight.
Yeah, I was gonna say like how much of that is because like you're like used to like Kirby's like basic ability to just ignore the platforming entirely.
That's another thing about it is that like Kirby inherently you kind of can't make Kirby a platformer because yeah, he doesn't uh do that. I feel like I don't know. There's just something about the way Kirby moves around in this game that it doesn't feel super precise to me. Um, the way that you have to like, I mean, obviously this is how the Kirby games work, and we can never change this. But like when you're
There you go.
floating and you have to like blow out air before you can like do your ability, like screws me over a bunch. And like having to manage like, well, did I jump or did I start floating? And so what am I gonna do when I land? Like those kinds of considerations
What?
don't feel super good.
I don't know where this is coming from. These are not issues.
I don't disagree. It didn't bother me as much, some of the like Kirbyisms.
Yeah.
But I definitely see the argument.
Like this is very much a Yoshi's Island. You have the egg aiming thing is dumb to me because it is bad. But people who are used to it are going to be used to it, and like I get it. Like I'm not going to be super hard on it. It's just my personal rating of it is like if they had shaved some of if they were going to like try to make this more precise platformer game, which they I guess in some ways they kind of didn't, right?
No, yeah, it's not
A lot of
like
ways, no.
like
But in the
like because if it is a platforming, like they'll give you the power, like the ice skating one, where it's like,
Yeah.
here's the challenge. You're gonna need this power. You can't beat it without the power. Now work around it, and then
Yeah.
you have to play around it. But if it's like a standard level, it's not really so much like, oh, the platforming's so hard. It's like, hey, explore around, look for the Waddle Dees, do the challenges you got to do. Like it's not really like this is like a hardcore like platformer most of the
Yeah,
time. Like
exactly.
these are
And
the
that-
sections right here where it's like we're gonna fixate this challenge around the cone.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't fly because you need the cone, and that's what reels in his
Yeah.
flying. So
Yeah,
like
and
they
that's
can,
why I feel like these sections are probably the worst parts of the game, because they like the explorate, like the design of the levels and the puzzle, like figuring where stuff is in the like in this game, like is the best part of this game. Whereas the like, hey, use the ice skating to get really precise with these jumps, that feels much more finicky and feels much more like it's fine, like you can do it, it's not terrible, but it's where the game really shines in its exploration, not its like super tight controls.
damn, I'm a hard disagree on that. Like they fucking nail these power ups.
I would say, because these control comparisons usually when we're scoring them kind of
Within its
weighed
own
against the genre.
Genre,
right?
yeah, like
This
within its
is-
own.
This is
genre.
the same genre, and this honestly, this like power, like contextual power specific micro genre.
Like I love shit like
It-
this. Like
it-
you could
it's-
just
it-
freeze.
but yeah, but it's this game shares that with Mario Odyssey, which like
yeah,
I love
that'll
this game,
outclass
but,
this
like,
easy. Yeah.
But like Mario Odyssey is the gold standard, and so this would be like the silver standard, I guess, of the two games in this like micro version of like a 3D platformer where the character throws their hat on something and becomes that object, and then 90% of the time you're not actually engaging with that stuff and you're just bouncing around. And so in that regard, because like I never had any complaints about the controls. But like Mario Odyssey is like the crispest game ever made. And so if you're gonna go toe to toe with Mario Odyssey, you're not gonna get full points.
For these challenges,
me.
yeah, I would agree. Like like the little like a challenge room in like Mario Odyssey, like would undoubtedly handle better than
Right.
like one like this. But this is like by no stretch of the imagination. I could not present to you like what I would fix. Like I wouldn't have like a list of you need to fix this and this and this to make this game handle better. Like if you're gonna play as the little puffball that can fly and hop around, like this is probably how he should move. Like the powers should augment his movement in some way, and they're playing around with it. Like you saw like in the last challenge, like don't just run down the stairs, use the ice ball and he'll slide down the hill faster. There's like a lot of little things like that. Which is why I'm like,
I feel like those work in this game when that stuff is easy, but when it's like more demanding. The like his weird turn radius and like I'm looking at this ability with the shooting the gun and you having to aim it with the left analog stick. Like that stuff's just a little finicky in a way that like maybe 20 is too low, maybe like 22 or something. But like I did not feel the platforming part of it was perfect. I just felt that the level design makes up for it. Like the level design is so good that it doesn't matter, or like that's if this did not have like the clever like use of abilities to solve puzzles and like solve problems
Yeah,
with,
it's like
by,
a puzzle
understanding how this
platformer.
works.
The
In a
system
sense.
utilization.
Yeah, the system utilization. If it didn't have that, then I would be kind of whatever about this game. It still wouldn't be bad, but I wouldn't understand like the zeitgeist you guys are having about it.
I
It's
think
more
the...
like
Sorry. Yeah.
it's more like yeah, like these boss fights, these kind of like end of section boss fights are pretty forgettable. Like they're kind of not that great.
Gotta do that post game, I guess.
Yeah,
Dude,
maybe.
gotta do the post. But
but
I would say
of those
I
being
get
even
what you're
harder
saying.
does not sound appealing. The idea of like a more precise version of these, where like I have to like jump around and float around and figure out attack timing with the
you
sort
know,
of
like he can die. Like
floaty guy.
he has
I'm
like a
not
lot of
super
movement
excited about
options
it.
that are kind of under you. Like the DDD fights, kind of like when I first learned, like, oh, Kirby has like a literal dodge. Like you can just hold like the bumper button, hit a direction,
Yeah,
and
do
he'll do
the
like a
thing.
flip dodge. I'm like, oh, that's
And
interesting. I think
And
like a
he
better
slows down time.
comparison would be like, instead of like Mario Odyssey, it's probably more like a Banjo-Kazooie type deal where
Yeah.
no, it's not really about the platforming. It's more like the exploration, the puzzling, and the platforming, like all of those. I would say like that's probably like the better game to throw this one to.
For what it's worth, Ryan, most of the post-game levels are basically remixed versions of the main game's levels combined into one. And they like take a lot of the puzzles from the base game and do more clever things with them. So if you like kind of the running around searching for stuff, like those levels do have that.
Yep.
Again, I'm not saying the controls are like abysmal. I'm just saying
Yeah,
they're
we get
slightly
that.
imperfect. Like
Right,
they're not.
and I agree.
Yeah.
I'd give it
agrees?
like a 23.
Okay, so
I
you're
think
going
that's
23.
very fair.
Yeah.
All right, so Jim's going 23. What about you, Ren?
I'll go 22.
22. RJ,
23.
23. Yeah, based on my list, if I cannot present anything to fix, yeah, I'm giving it the full marks. I can't really say like this needs to be fixed. There's no tech issues in what it's trying to do. Yeah, I have no complaints. But I definitely get what Jim is saying, like with bringing up the other games there. But that gives us what? It's probably be like 24, honestly. But let's just do the math anyway. 93. Yeah. Oh no, 23. Never mind.
Okey-dokey.
So yep. Now we're on system utilization. Like yeah. How's this all coming into play?
This is one where I'd probably give it like a 19, where it's like they do everything really well. It's nothing mind-blowing with like the discovery and all that, but like every level has at least one thing where it's just like, damn, like makes me feel really clever when I find it or figure it out. And actually, well,
Because you did bring up like the capsules and the food thing
I
not
think
being used.
offline,
and
like Ryan made a good point that like a lot of the mini games are middling, which Kirby has some of the best mini games ever throughout its life. So yeah, I think actually I'd probably even knock it down maybe to an 18. Just
Talk
'cause-
yourself down.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, like
Like
I mean, those are
it-
good points though. Yeah, like Kirby
it-
serving the hot dogs, Kirby doing like the little town stuff. Like it's all there. But
like
how
it's a
much
it's a
does it
very
come together?
Nintendo thing, right? It's like if Waddle Dee Town was just a fucking menu. If it was just you press start and can do these functions like upgrading the thing instead of having to come back to this thing and like go through the dialogue and do the whole thing and sleep in the bed and get, like just pick up the pace just a little bit in here. It
I
would
like
be
going to bed.
a-
It was cute.
yeah, there's a couple
yeah.
of things that were also like very kid game where it's like every time you get a blueprint, it's got a camera pan over and be like, hey, you can go use the blueprint here, and then every time
Yeah,
you
that
go
was
in there,
annoying too.
you gotta watch the cutscene where he hits the hammer with the thing, and then
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
skip.
wait. Well, yeah, you can, but then you has to like turn back to the camera and hold the new power over his head, and you gotta wait until the dialogue option comes all the way through, and then an extra second after that before you can press A to skip through the dialogue.
Oh, I think we're about to see it.
Yeah,
Hey.
this.
Perfect
if
timing.
If you're a person who likes like these kinds of like this kind of experience, like this kind of user experience, you like the way Nintendo does things, then this is probably all in line for you, and this is fine, and that's fine. Like I'm not like whatever.
He's basically calling you a chode.
It's like
He's calling
it's
you.
like
That's
yeah,
alright.
it's like it's like the people who wanted Animal Crossing to go faster. It's like the people who are like, man, if I could only spend Nook tickets faster, if I could
Yeah.
only do the travel faster, if I
You
could
can
only do the
stack fruit.
trades more consistently, like if I could only like trade things through an easier menu, like those people, those kinds of complaints exist in this game too, I think. But I was actually gonna give system utilization a 20, so
Damn.
yeah, because I think
Uh,
the level design makes up for it.
Are you sticking with it or?
Yes, I am.
Okay, he's sticking. Man, this is like Bizarro World. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it a 20 for sure.
18.
Yeah. What about you, RJ? You got anything to weigh in or input or?
Really, like all I have to say is, like the mini games are very forgettable. Like I like that I did not have to really interact with many of them, where I just did it like once for about 5 minutes and then was done with it. So in that regard, it doesn't use the mini game stuff like to its full potential, or none of them are like as interesting as how like I don't know, like Crystal Shards has a little like shockwave mini game, the tiles. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah.
But like that was like extremely fun. So like thinking back to like how the old games used to have like things that I like, remember, like I'm gonna forget the tilting the controller to move the Kirby pinball around. Like I'm gonna forget that's even in this game. So
What about Kirby
that-
serving hot dogs so all the hungry waddle?
Yeah, I forgot about that, even though you mentioned it a few minutes ago.
Kirby fishing.
I will definitely forget Kirby fishing because there's a better game called Kirby the Samurai or whatever. And
Kirby
you
the
also hit A.
samurai.
Samurai Kirby. Here we go. Anyway, yeah, I'd probably give it like 18.
18. Yeah, I'm leaning on like 18. I'm just like trying to stick with my numerical values. Yeah, like the fishing, I would say like yeah, kind of tacked on. The food, kind of tacked on. The mini game, yeah, like this. That would put it in the category of 3 or 4. Yeah, 18. 18 for me as well.
I forgot that you could buy food and like take it with you as an equipable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that like once. But I think the level design, the problem solving that you do is consistently very good.
Oh yeah, it is.
I was so taken aback by so many of these. Of like, oh shit, that's how you do this. Like they've thought about the way that like what you would have by the time you get here, and like the way. I think it also helps that like this game is, which is really rare these days. It's a not a fixed camera, but it is a camera that you don't control. And so the camera, like you can control it a little bit with the right stick. It almost kind of feels pointless, but the way it uses the camera perspective to lead you to look at certain things in the scene, like it like sets up scenes or like sets up like a frame for you to look at and like understand, like take in all the information you need to know in order to like solve the problem. The way it does that so like smoothly and elegantly is really impressive.
The mise en scène was quite off the charts. Yes.
The mise en scène of this game is like bar none. Like it is very good.
For real.
For real,
Well,
yeah, for
for
real.
real.
Like I mean that.
Also, every time I saw a car, I was just like, "Fuck yeah! All right."
It's
Yeah.
time.
Mouthful mode.
Yeah, it's a little gross.
Kirby eat the card, he become card instead. But anyway, we are in conveying information. Well, yeah, Ryan just laid out
Yeah,
conveying
we are.
information right there.
Yeah.
That's a segue.
That is a segue. That
So
is
good
a
at that.
perfect
Yeah.
segue, and he
Yeah.
is dead on. Like
Easy
Yeah.
peasy 8.
I'm I'm not even gonna fight this. Are we just 8s across the board? Are we done?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Sound design.
Sound design?
Sound design, yes.
Ooh-wee. I love the star when it goes. That sounds.
Did
Sorry, you want to do that
anyone-
again? What did you say?
I like the star noise when you get on the warp star. It still makes the same like beep, 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 like high pitched beeping sound, and that's like nostalgia bait for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the footstep sounds of Kirby running on that sand.
I would say I've recently
the
begun to
music.
appreciate more of just like how original sound design is for just most games we've actually talked about. Because recently, I've like kind of delved back into playing Star Fox Adventures. Completely random tangent, but like holy shit, the sound library for Star Fox Adventures is so basic. It's like they just went to like soundlibrary.com and just picked the first fucking sound that they found, and those are the sound effects in the game. Like I've almost just forgotten just like how much effort and care is put into just like making every one of like Nintendo's IPs have their own sound. Like you can hear a sound effect and go like, that's Kirby, that's Metroid, that's Mario. And then there's Star Fox Adventures, who's like, yep, that's the Windows 95 library of the blasting sound effect.
There's a lot
It's
of
rare after they got rid of Grant Kirkhope.
And I'm like,
That's,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like Star Fox Adventures in particular. It's funny you bring that up. Like that game has like more public library assets for sounds
Yeah,
than
like
a lot of games, even of that era. Like it's rough. Like they
I
don't
had
straight up
forgotten
Wilhelm
that.
scream at any point, but like the fire effects,
Them
and, like,
shooting
all-
the fire and the staff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And like,
Yeah,
man, I just really did not appreciate it. And like, yeah, I listened to this game and it's like, no, everything, I can't pinpoint it. They are doing their own Foley sound for pretty much everything, and that is slept on so
You could
hard.
probably like find a sound file and play it, and I could probably give you a pretty decent guess as to what it was specifically in this game as well.
Ooh. Oh yeah, like yeah, it's a very like just distinct, unique. It is Kirby. I hear a sound and I go, "That's Kirby. That's fucking impressive."
yeah, I'd agree.
Maybe my only thing would be like, I thought the music was good, not great, but I'd still probably give it a 5 just because like everything's really good out of 5.
Yeah, like you don't even think about it. Like that is a talent, and I was thank you Fox McCloud for reminding me that just me not thinking about the sound is like that's good. That means it's all blending very well.
Hey, while I have y'all here, can I get a fuck you to Wild Bonkers of all kinds?
What? I'm guessing that's a post-game thing where he becomes
No.
a problem.
He's like, as this video showed, he's clearly more designed to be fought without a power than with any powers.
Oh,
Got a
is
bunch of defense.
I always just hit him
It's
with
like-
a sword. And...
Yeah, if you like
Yeah.
want to keep whatever power you're using in a fight with him, it's like gonna be slightly more drawn out than you just suck up the coconuts and throw them in his face.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he's always been like that, even in like the 2D games.
I'm sorry, what?
We're talking about Wild Bonkers sound
Oh
design.
yeah, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going the 5.
Oh yeah.
Are we all 5, or is somebody
Yeah, sure. There's a couple sound effects I find a little slightly grating, but for the most part, it is really well done.
Is it whenever that blue rat says anything?
It's I don't know. Like maybe this would be just being a gigantic hater, and I don't want to just be a gigantic hater.
You hate
There are
sounds.
times when Kirby gets annoying to me.
Oh, like
after a
it-
while.
His sucking sounds.
Not the sucking sounds, but all the little sounds that he makes when you get the thing and
the
like
baby
all
noises
talking,
and the high,
all the little
and the-
baby noises.
When you press the wave to Waddle Dee button and he goes, hi. you
Oh,
just
and Waddle
frown.
Dee waves back,
You hate.
and
You
he's like,
hate Kirby
"Bah,
making
humbug!
noises?"
That's stupid, Kirby."
Alright, I'm gonna beat Ryan's ass. That's all.
Okay. You know what? Like it is. Well, actually think the music actually is pretty good in this. And the sound design is overall fairly good. It's just maybe not all of it is to my tastes. So I'll agree with the 5. Like it's functional and well put together. It's just I don't know, man. This a lot
You
of
just
this
don't like
game
Kirby, huh?
feels like a lot of this game feels like the best GameCube game I've ever played. In a way that it's like it feels old. It feels like it is not really evolved design. It's just really well done. It's just really, really well made.
We've just said two very opposite things in the close proximity of time.
No, but I'm saying that just like a lot of, I don't know.
I think I was still is like just like the lack of all of it coming together. Like, you know, I don't need a second analog stick. The camera's just doing it on its own. Not incredibly complex visuals. It's honestly, yeah, like I could see this on the GameCube without the lighting, obviously. Like it would just be worse lit, but yeah, I could see this on the GameCube.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does. I don't know. This has nothing to do with sound design, I guess. Sure, get sound design 5. I don't fucking care.
What the fuck is that?
Trying to be not an asshole here, like I really am. I just like
it's
am
video
not
games. It's
as
fine.
glowing about this game. I guess as everyone else is.
Oh, that's fine. You know,
That's just give it a 0 for fun fact.
No, because like that's not how I feel about it. I think this game's like a 9 out of 10. It's just not a 10 out of 10. There's just enough little.
I think it's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I probably lean somewhere around there. Yeah. Like that. 8 or 9. I might even go lower actually.
Yeah.
It's just like if it was like, hey, name like 5 Switch games that everyone should absolutely play.
This
I'd be
probably
like,
wouldn't be on the list.
Should I put Kirby on there?
It's probably not. Breath of the Wild. Yep. Easy Breath of the
I
Wild.
think I
easy.
would put this on there.
Like Zelda, Mario, Metroid.
Shit. Not even shit. I would have to, because the Switch actually, unlike the fucking Wii U, actually has like a lot of games, and I actually have to
Yeah,
like
it does.
lay these out and think
Yeah,
about them.
like if you count like multi-platform, it's like, well, I'll just play it on my PC.
That too. Oh man, what the fuck are we doing? We're on
Sound design.
We're
I'm
on
giving
target.
It a 5. We all
We're
give
on-
it a 5. It's a 5.
We're on
This guy gonna
visuals.
Build a sign. I didn't do the sign. I didn't do this one. I saw it right after finishing the levels. I complete the sign. I was like,
Is that what you're supposed to do for that?
Yeah. You complete
Oh,
the sign with the
God.
O.
Complete the sign.
yeah. I was just like, oh, of course.
Kiss my
That's what it
ass,
makes you
fucking
say. First you're like,
sign.
what? But then you're standing there and you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, because it's a piece of the sign that you're eating. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hinted at. Like, it's good.
Yeah, it's clever, but
it's a puzzle.
it's a puzzle, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like,
Fuck this.
man.
I'm sorry,
'cause
you
this is
missed
the
that
only
Waddle Dee, man.
This is the only Waddle Dee I'm missing in this stage.
Yeah, that's like half the stages for me. It'd be like,
Just the one I don't get.
look at all these Waddle Dees you got. You're missing one, ha, and then like run away. Be like, fuck.
No, dude, that's what I mean. Like, I would not move on from the stage until I had them all. I played some of these stages like 5 fucking times, going like,
See,
what is the thing? What is the
if
thing
I
I'm
played-
doing?
If I played this game that way, I would be much more negative about it. Like I was like forcing myself to like try to like get all of the Waddle Dees out of it. I'd be so sick of this game by now.
Oh,
'Cause
I
I'd
enjoy
have to
doing
have
that,
played like
but
5
yeah.
times as much of it. And if I had to like keep going through the motions through all these little platforming whatever, I'd just be like, man, fuck this game. I'd be so sick of it by now. I knew I had to just like keep going and keep going and keep going because I was gonna tire out.
I mean, you kind of realize that the levels are short because when I was doing that, I was like, shit, man, this is going to be long. But then on a replay, you're like, oh yeah, I'm not looking for
Yeah.
these Waddle Dees, so I'm just kind of breezing through it. These levels are quite short.
Yeah,
It's just they are extended by you looking. You looking
Yeah.
around is what draws it out, not
Yeah.
the
That's
the
length of
thing.
the.
Like there are a couple of times where it was like the bonus Waddle Dee was like, oh, beat the boss with like, or beat the final encounter with like, you know,
not
Don't
not
taking
taking
a hit.
damage or something.
Don't get hit, Kirby. And you're like,
And
fuck
it'd be
you.
like, oh, okay, it actually takes like 4 seconds to get through the main level if you just run through it.
Yeah. But visuals. Yeah, this is Nintendo Switch really weak hardware doing really good things because you stuck to a vision, you're in your limits, and you know how to do your job. Very
10 out of 5.
easy on the eyes.
Is it out of 5?
Yeah.
Yep, it's just out of 5.
Ooh. I was gonna
Oh.
say like, oh, it's like a 4 because it's like, it's Kirby. But then I remembered like there are a couple of times like at the start of the ice level where you're just like looking at this like huge fucking like castle archway, and it's like, how the fuck is this a Kirby game? Like all the fog and shit, and then like at the start of like the evil death factory, and it's just like all the fucking plumes of smoke and shit. I was like, this game like has a really wild
Palette.
art design for like the established rules of Kirby.
Really?
It's like,
Think about Crystal
Established
Shards, the
rules.
plant world, the desert world, the lava world, the ice world, the future,
Yeah,
for
but it's
everything's
also, like-
fucked up. The
like weird like cinematography at the like opening where it's like, oh, the camera pans in as you're like running through. I was like, what the hell? This is like way cool.
this is too cool for the little hi Kirby doll that
Right.
says hi to Waddle Dee in town.
It's like this is the same game where you go back to Waddle Dee Town and go, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I also
Let's see if we
agree.
can find that.
I remember the opening where you're in mouth, like the kind of like late credit sequence where you're in mouthful mode with the car and it plays the song. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that and being like, I don't want to be a hater about this game, and here we are.
Why do you think this is being a hater? It's just like conversation.
I just
It
didn't
is.
get to the post game, okay? I just didn't
Yeah,
get to
no,
it.
but
It takes
it's
a
fine.
while. I've been playing Guilty Gear, okay? I'm sorry.
I've seen him do it. I've seen it on
It
there.
is.
He's playing Guilty
I-
Gear, and I'm like, I want to play with him, but I can't.
Yeah, like having critiques about games you love is totally
Yeah.
fine and valid.
Yeah.
Now having
like-
critiques about games I love is wrong.
And you love this game, and I don't want to get my ass beat.
Yeah, you do. Got the vote on that right now.
I never
Not-
got my
not
little
for-
baby bib for my last hating. So for not playing fucking, what was it? Your stupid Dark Souls. I can't remember the name because all of Alzheimer's is kicking in.
Dark Souls is the name of the game. That is the
Sekiro.
game.
Sekiro. That's it.
Oh,
Sekiro?
Sekiro. Oh yeah.
Oh, but
Here's your
Sekiro's so-
bib
Sekiro's so
Yeah.
fucking good, though.
I want
Like,
my-
don't let that stop
Probably.
you. That game
Sekiro
is so...
is better than Kirby.
I want my hater bib for that game. I stole it.
Oh, no, you don't need it. It's so good. Like, I'm not even be like, you have to play this because if you don't, fuck you. I'm like, you're missing so much if you don't play. That's not this conversation.
I know.
I think this game
Hey,
looks
we're
really
allowed
great.
to tangent.
I think it's visually excellent. I think what you said about like the Switch hardware being a little old and it like it does the like adaptive frame rate stuff on some of the animations.
Oh yeah,
and
you can see.
It pops like a little too like you'll be in like that swimming level and those little crocodiles will be going around and the frame rate will stay slow for just a little bit too long and you'd be like, ooh.
That's a tech
sw-
That's a technical thing.
yeah. Like a Switch Pro, if it had ever existed, would have chewed right through this, but that doesn't exist. So we have this. And like it's fine. It's complete like it's totally fine. From a visual like direction standpoint, like excellent. Like
Yeah.
5 out of 5 or whatever.
Wouldn't I'm sure on better hardware it's like I would the only thing I would buff is like the lighting systems pretty much, but like everything else you're good.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. So yeah, I'm going full 5. I don't know about y'all. What are y'all
Probably
doing?
Stick with a 4.
Yep, completely fair. 4 or 5. What about you, RJ?
Go with the 5 because I really like when you jump in the water as Kirby and then you come back out and his entire body is like glistening in like the water or whatever.
Oh,
It's
so you're like a pervert.
He's like
He's a
wet.
Kerbert.
I really love the wet physics.
You love Kirby's wet body.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks
love
really
it.
nice and shiny. It's really cool. And I really love how his like skin is like warped around the soda pop shape. It's quite disturbing actually.
I actually,
masterpiece.
I actually find the mouthful mode stuff a little gross.
It is very gross. I hate it.
Especially when,
I
it
hate
doesn't,
it.
especially when it doesn't take the entire form like the car. So it's like he's struggling to get his mouth over it. It's just like he looks like he's in pain. Kirby looks like he's in pain through parts of this game.
But
And I
also,
feel-
he still wears the little hat for his.
His power.
He does. He always has the little hat. Like when he's the light bulb and you like do the light
Oh,
bulb.
he looks
Yeah,
so
that is
fucking
gross.
distressed.
He looks so distressed when the light bulb's in
That
him. Like
whole
Ugh.
thing, because it's like the lights are out and those little spiky guys are chasing you, and you
Let me
got
try
like
to find
the
it. I know what they're talking about.
You got the fucking like spiky floors everywhere. I'm distressed like playing those parts.
It's like
It's a very gross
Okay,
looking.
turn toward and turn the light on. I want to see us because he like closes his eyes for a second, like he's like biting down on the belt as before they're about to like do surgery on him. Like it's rough.
But
Yeah.
I'm like losing track where yeah, you get 4, RJ gets 5, it ends up with a 5 pretty much. Some of its parts, how all things considered, what are we getting?
I got 7.
What is it out of?
We're on
7.
the same page, my
7?
man.
Seven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
7
it better than the sum of its parts, and the sum of its parts are
are pretty damn good too.
somewhat
Solid.
pretty good. Yeah. So.
I agree.
Fun factor. How did it make you feel?
was fun.
Yeah, I would say like
I'm like a 4, honestly.
oh, I think maybe it was my very specific thing, but I think the thing that puts it over for me was, and I don't mean to make Ryan feel bad, but it was the final arena encounter.
Sure, that's fine.
Because it was just like oh, balls to the wall, like this is
Kirby's
some-
getting real.
yeah.
I'm curious now. Like, what could that because I'm thinking about this game. Like, what could that possibly be? Like,
It's
Right?
It's interesting. Whenever a Kirby game, because I think most Kirby games are like these like easy, simple, breezy
Right.
little games
Yeah.
that you can play in like a few hours. You'd be like, yeah, that was fun. All right, cool.
I think it's
However,
always been a game with hidden
there's-
depths.
Yes, but like there's always that part of the game where like all of a sudden the game just suddenly gets hard or at least like difficult in like a small way, and it like surprises you and throws you off. And once you like get over that initial surprise and the rest of the game's like that is when like the game like kind of shows its teeth.
Love it.
And it's Kirby doesn't have teeth.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6.
what is it?
6?
Out
Sorry.
of 6.
6?
Mhm.
I'll give it a 6 as well. I think but it's like to me, it's like the sum of its parts and this are like feel the same.
I think in this kind of specific case because it's the genre of game.
like the fun of this game is how it all comes together.
Mhm.
It's like watching your like I think this is how this works and it comes together the way you think it should and it's like that's cool. Like that's
Yeah.
what this game's about.
So
Yeah.
6? Full 6?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still being the hater. That's I don't seek it out,
Alright,
but
beat your ass.
I'm on forward when I'm playing it.
Yep.
22. Yeah, either way, it comes out to 6. That
Yeah, I would say I am shocked at how much I like this game because, like, again, if we're comparing it to other things in the genre, it's like
stiff
I'm
competition.
yeah, I'm surprised. It's like, oh wow, there's actually like it. I think it holds its own compared to a lot of 3D platforms.
This totally seems like a you type of game. I'm honestly surprised you didn't play it sooner. Like that first time I brought it up, I'm like, really? Like you would totally love this game.
I got plenty of games to love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really do. Oh my god.
I will say that like the first I was gonna like in terms of like the sum of it like it's this is the sum of its parts, not fun factor, but like that first area that you go through, like the very tutorial area, you do that for like was it like 20-30 minutes or something. As I was going through that opening where it's like really simple, like really simple, I was kind of like, is this it?
Right,
Is this
I had a kind of a similar sensation because
this-
it's the
is
first
this a-
Kirby game I've played since Big Yarn. which
Yeah,
was like,
and
that game was for like toddlers, but
yeah, so that I was thinking like, is this game also kind of just gonna be this like, we're walking around and we're pressing the ability button and it just kind of, it kind of spins its wheels and this is how the game is. It takes a little bit, not super long. It's not a super long intro, but considering the main game itself is not that long, it's like, yeah, that opening is a little. It's very cute looking. Like I love the way it looks and the whole presentation. Very
as a
easy
fun
breezy.
like anime OST.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
love
like-
that. I love that song. It's great. But by the time we're like in this section that we're looking at right now, then I'm like, okay, no, the game
Right.
is like, now it feels like a thing I have to actually think about as I play it, and not just a thing that happens.
Mhm.
And there's so much of it. Yeah, like there's so
Yeah.
much content. It keeps
Yeah.
Very
giving.
dense. Every scene
It is so
packed.
dense.
Yes, I agree. I'll give it. Yeah, if we're in fun factor, I'll give it full points.
Yeah, either way, it's coming out with a 6, despite me being a hater.
Stats the wet blanket over here. Just doesn't like fun.
Story, I still can't. I don't know, some Eldritch Kirby shit like usual, but yeah.
I think it's weird at the end. I'm gonna be real. I was kind of like, this is this is weird. I don't like this actually.
Yeah, it's like
I wish that wasn't how it
they
ended.
kind of tried to have a story. Unlike a lot of games, they're like, hey, who cares? It's like, oh, you gotta go to fucking the evil laboratory where you can hear English.
Yeah.
Stop Gruntilda from taking the youth of your sister who never comes back so she could be sexy Gruntilda and then be memed for the rest of her
Yeah,
career.
it's no Banjo-Kazooie.
There was a moment. Okay, so there's a section of this game where it's actually this area that we're looking at. It's like a theme park area, and I jokingly said to myself like, oh, this game's like Nier Automata. And then when we got to like the end and the thing is talking to you about like the nature of like the enemies or whatever,
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
it is like Nier Automata. They're really going for that, isn't there?
Yes.
But yeah, the ending is really fucking stupid.
Yeah,
but,
we go some places.
Really
Yeah, I don't know, a 2. Like,
I don't even think it's like the main focus of it, which is why I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's not the focus, which is why I'm like, fuck it, type deal.
yeah, but
So-
it's like
I'll be the counterbalance to your 2. I'm going 6.
I'll take it.
I'll go 4. Because it is
4.
super inconsequential, but it's also like it's so inconsequential. Like it's
Like, I wouldn't dock Mario Odyssey, I'm not docking points because like the story about Bowser wanting to fuck Peach on her wedding is so underwhelming. Like, that's not the point of Mario Odyssey. Same with this. It's like, it's really not the point. This is the point. They needed an excuse to do this platform game. I get it. You can't just be like, go. Like, I get it. I truly do. You did your usual Kirby thing.
yeah,
I wasn't getting cutscenes of the dark nature of the world in between and the story time with the blue guy. It's just I just sort of picked the level and then I played it. So yeah. So Ryan's 4, Jim's 2. How about you, RJ?
I guess I'll do 4 too, just because of like this is like standard Kirby fare of just having like strange, horrifying creature at the very end of the game. You're like, oh, well, that was weird. Anyway, back to happy fun times.
Let me ask you this: would you even consider like story for like Superstar at
Hell
all?
no, because it's multiple games. The only time it has story.
Or like
That's what you're
for
doing
one
the
of them, like
midnight level.
Dreamland 3, sure. Like what about like, would you count it against Dreamland 3?
There was no story in Dreamland 3.
Exactly. Well, I would just say it's a consequence of the hardware. Like, yeah, they probably would just leave it really minimal. But it's now, so they're gonna do something. But like, it's still like as minimal as it kind of is, which is why I don't hold it against it.
If we're gonna grade all genres with the same rubric, and games like this can't get a pass completely on their story, because there are some games that are focused on story that gameplay is not their big focus, and they don't get a gameplay pass. So like, this doesn't get a story
If it's
pass.
like are you saying like a walk and talk? Is like
yeah,
a walk and talk is just like I have it graded against other walk and talks. So like, does the character walk talk as a story engaging type deal? I would probably give it full. Have you done any of those yet? Because I remember like Last of Us, I was kind of like begrudgingly giving it more points than I wanted to, because I hate The Last of Us. But
I
still,
thought you said
like,
you didn't play it.
well, by the look of it, I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. I did not want to give it the points I gave it, but I still have to give it the points because it's doing things as it should be.
I'll say for this game, like, the bits of story that it does try to interject are just weird enough for me to kind of be like,
When I can, yeah, I mean that's fair. I'm just,
Yeah,
I'll be the
no.
counterbalance here. I'm like, yeah, don't even consider
That's
it.
why a 4. right, and not a 6, right? Because there's just enough of it to be like, I don't really. Kind of wish we just weren't watching this right now.
All right.
The goo monster is like in the wall and it's
that was
coming at
cool.
you. Oh no, it's super not. It's really gross.
Super cool. I love that.
You know,
oh,
my
man.
good-
Kirby's
my
come
God.
home.
It's like, why did this become?
I really liked watching the goo trying to eat Kirby.
trying to eat Kirby. Yeah, I was kind of
You
not.
say it like that.
What are you talking about?
Either way, it's a 4.
It's
Total
like the end
score
of a House
is
of
a
the
4.
House of the Dead game. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Well, House of the Dead
Holy.
Overkill is a hood classic. Don't you
Oh
forget
hell
it.
yeah!
Yeah, that's a good game.
I
Uh,
haven't played it.
for its time. Yeah, this is a
Time
game
now.
I will
Man,
come back
so-
to and just think, yep, visuals are still damn good. This will not feel the effects of aging as other games will, for sure.
Kirby's round.
Kirby
doesn't
is.
play around.
Did you just say Kirby is round?
He's finally around.
Kirby is
No.
finally
No.
round.
No polygons in that.
No pixel, like very anti-aliased character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I would say it's almost already like it's a great game, but for its time, like I kind of said before, it already kind of feels aged.
I think I kind of agree. It's like it's a incredible game, but like it definitely feels like an old school game.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't ahead of its time, but its time is technically now, and it is good. So I'll give it a 2 out of 3.
2. All right. Ryan, where you going?
I'll give it a 2.
RJ.
I'm also feeling a 2.
I'm on the full 3. I'm having a strong feeling that just 2 is going to win out, but I'm still need to do my due diligence. But yeah, 2. And with that, with the score of 88, it is indeed a banger.
All right,
Kirby
it's-
and the Forgotten Land is a banger.
certified.
It is a
bangering.
certified hood classic. Finally,
Before we introduced this, I had forgotten what the game was called. I was like, in the Forgotten World, and what the fuck is this game? 'Cause there's so many fucking other Kirby games that are some like in the land of forgetfulness and like all this stuff.
There's just Kirby Dreamland.
There's
The
Kirby
land?
Dreamland, Kirby Starland, Kirby Dream Ride,
Kirby Star
Chil-
Allies.
Star Allies, Kirby Starland, like there's
Kirby
Kirby Air
Dream.
Ride.
the land
feel
of
like-
that
Epic Yarn.
smiles.
Yeah,
Canvas Curse.
I feel like Canvas Curse and like Squeak Squad are like the two that's like, oh yeah, I'll remember those because
Is Squeak Squad a real game or are you
Yes.
making
It
that up?
is,
It's
it
real.
is
It
a
is a
real game.
very
It's
real
a
game.
game about Kirby trying to get his cake back. It's the John Wick of the Kirby series.
Oh shit.
Be right back.
It is a real video game.
Yeah,
It's on the Nintendo DS.
yeah. Some mice or rats. They steal his cake, and you got to get that shit back, man.
Mm. Oh man, that was honestly like more of a discussion on this game than I thought would be had. But
Well, that's what you get at Bangers.
That's what you get.
yep, for the one person here, you should probably go to bed. It's Saturday night. You could be throwing some game out there. For everyone else, that is what you get.
We have 3 up likes. That's not what they're called.
3
What are
up
likes.
Nope,
Like,
up,
what is
up
that?
likes is
Three up
that's it.
likes.
We got 3 up likes. That's staying right the fuck there. Oh my lord. I'm just happy I
Give us
finally
up
got
likes.
this game.
I think
on.
I think I am the viewer.
I know.
I think I am the viewer who is watching now because I have the stream pulled up so I can see chat.
I told you if you do it too late, we lose Europe.
Is this late?
For them, yes.
I feel like we've done this. Is this too?
Usually
we
the
need,
prime.
like-
Oh no, Sandwich Man
Hey,
says he's
Sandwich
still
Man
here.
is still here.
Also, the view counter is fucked up. See, now it just jumped to 4, and I'm like, I don't
Okay,
know.
well
I don't know
then-
what's real
Hey.
anymore.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's
Alright.
fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna
We'll-
pretend like there's nobody here, so I can just be as belligerent as I want. Anyway,
That's
what's
not
the next
a good
game?
idea to be on the internet, man. Like they're gonna come back.
Oh, well, absolutely. I'm going down the way I lived, belligerent.
It's like it's gonna be like, Your Honor, we have a record of him saying this. Like, it's right here.
And I'm
hold
like,
on.
nope,
Are we
that's
taking games off the list?
that is
Majora's Mask. It's up. Gen
Pu-
5 actually.
purely AI, Your Honor. That was just generated. It was a text to speech.
What if we had an AI generated episode of this
Oh my lord! You know that's
we should
entirely
try it
possible.
at least
though.
once.
once? Like what games do you think an AI would put on this list?
It's probably just
It
gonna
Takes
like
Two.
Google
It Takes
search like
Two?
the top.
Yeah, you're right.
Takes Two.
It
That'll
takes
make it
two.
on.
That's a good answer.
He's right. Yeah. Well
I
done.
would probably say like I don't like it. No. Stat would say like I don't think It Takes Two is very good, and I would say like you're wrong, and here's why I like It Takes Two, and then Stat would be like, well, begrudgingly I have to give this points, and then it would like just squeak in.
And then I would say it takes one to get this game on the list.
That's what an AI would generate that text. Yeah,
Yep. It just knows the four of us so well.
we would feed it all
RJ
5
didn't say
episodes of
anything.
this.
RJ's was Kirby is round.
Kirby is round. Kirby is round. Kirby is wet.
Kirby is
And-
round. Kirby
the
is
water
wet.
Love
physics in
him.
Kirby.
Yeah, the water
love
physics
him
on
so much
Kirby,
for that.
and I love the goop as it tries to eat Kirby in that one boss fight. Oh
You
man.
like the goo, Kirby.
I like the Kirby. I like the Kirby goo.
Well, moving on. I think I have a suggestion.
Hell yeah.
Because I think RJ is the only one who's played this.
Oh shit.
But we're going to talk about RPGs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
Oh
you're right.
my god.
That's not me.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, not the remake.
Yeah.
That real OG. Good shit.
Okay, so we're talking, but no, it is. We're talking about a modded PC
Yeah, like with the restored content mod.
restored content
technically.
mod. Okay.
Hasn't
I
been-
can't imagine what the game would be like without the restored content mod, considering I did not play without the restored
Yeah.
content mod.
I mean, it's a one button press on Steam nowadays, and I think like they're even trying to sell it like as a thing on that remake on the Switch that hasn't come out. Like the restored content stuff hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fine. I'm just don't like. This is not the Xbox release.
Yeah, like definitely not the OG Xbox release. Like
Okay,
the
so
version
what-
you can get on Steam or GOG now with the first mod you see available listed anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Because if we're talking about KOTOR 1, which I admit we're not, I'd be like, well, I played the Xbox version. And I liked it.
Yeah.
I did not
yeah.
like Control.
RJ did not like KOTOR 1. It's been a long time since I played KOTOR 1, so so
Keith,
like
we're making this
if there's
very
one
hard.
that I think belongs on our banger list, it's KOTOR 2 for sure.
All right, I think I got it all pulled
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
But this is the
yeah,
Xbox version.
It's fine.
It's
We just need a
fine.
visual aid.
It's an RPG.
It still looks the same. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
So yeah, I guess effect on gaming culture.
Oh.
It's
Oof. Yeah.
it's Star Wars, so it's
Okay.
not like this underground thing that no one's heard of, but it's also like it's definitely not KOTOR 1 as far as influence, and it's not like this like hugely talked about beloved classic.
I think this game has a huge. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, it's fine.
No, I was gonna say I think this game's cult following is huge.
Sure.
Yes.
Like,
As far as
that
games with a
restored
cult
mod-
following go.
Yeah, this is a very big cult following game.
What world have I stepped into where I can go into speedrun.com and find people are still speedrunning
Holy shit.
Oh, of
this
course.
game?
How many?
What the
How many? How many?
Oh, okay. It's not a lot. It's only 27 players.
Wait, how much?
27 players.
Oh, I thought you
Oh, I
said
thought-
20,000. I was like,
I said
what?
her as well. I was like, man, all right,
Holy
never mind.
Holy fuck. But still.
Mitra,
Mitra, eh?
Mitra.
All right, you're not. You got it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'd probably give this like a 10, where it's like I mean, again, it's Star Wars. Like that alone got everyone to rent it in 2005 and then return it when it was an RPG and not an action game.
Uh-huh.
But it's definitely like cult classic Star Wars. Yeah.
I'd give it
Just-
an 8.
Really?
Because it does feel like it's the sequel to the like. I know now the conversation is very different, but I feel like at the time it was like this somewhat disappointing sequel to everyone's favorite Xbox game.
Uh-huh.
Like it was like the sequel to the good Star Wars game
Right.
that kind of wasn't as good, but I know now it's different. So I feel like 9 maybe.
I mean, I think KOTOR 1 would have like a way higher relevancy score because it kind of was like what a bunch of Western RPGs built themselves around, like in the 360 PS3 era. Because it was kind of the first of the like post Baldur's Gate BioWare style RPG. Where KOTOR 2's first legacy is being one of like the 3 games Obsidian made that's a sequel to someone else's game that's considered better.
Yep.
Albeit buggier.
So like 9 or 10.
Mm.
So where are we going
Yeah,
with?
so
All right, Ivy was a 9 right
I'll
now,
say-
and him was
I'll
a
say a
10.
9.
You were a 9 as well.
Yep.
Any reason why?
Basically, just because it is a sequel to KOTOR 1. I think there is a MMO that I don't want to talk about, but it is there. Technically, that is another, like, I guess trying to get more people into the KOTOR games, and now there's like these talks of remakes and stuff of the first game at least, but that is not 2. So I think it's just about 9 in terms of cultural relevance. Also, the speedrunners, of course, being active in the community helps. By at least 18 days ago, some guy named VHS33, shout out. I'm sorry, he did a recent run on the on swoop race. He didn't actually play the full game. So,
Shouts to VHS33. I love that guy. He's a real one.
yeah, he's got 37 seconds on the Onderon swoop race.
What a guy.
Shout out to my guy.
The goat of Alderaan.
Yeah.
VHS33.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was gonna say it looks like Star Wars: The Old Republic is still going.
Yeah.
Like you can still play. Like they didn't shut the server. I was like, did they shut the servers off for this? Like, no, you can still play it. So
Wild and crazy times.
in an era where it seems like everything that doesn't have 10 million concurrent players at all times is getting deactivated, that game is still going.
You can't stop Star Wars fans. They'll do anything.
You really can't. Also, this woman's shoes. Like, what is with these red Adidas? I didn't want to talk over someone to bring this up, but this woman's like the Reebok
Love it.
the cross trainers are just really killing me.
I really love it.
It's
Oh my
Random
lord!
Converse on.
this game
Yeah.
looks good. I
I'm Johnny
agree.
Knoxville, and this is KOTOR 2.
This is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'm the second old Republican.
I'm the second old Republican. Oh
Anyways,
lord!
yeah. So what's the next category? I'm sorry. I didn't nail this.
Oh yeah, did we get like an aggregated score?
It's 9.
It's 9.
Nice.
All right.
Yep. So we're on controls.
Control.
That is all. That is all. You all have no fucking idea.
It's been a few years since I played. It was like, it's like a janky game from 2005. Everything worked great, but it's definitely like took some getting used to. I actually think I dropped this game for like a year when I first played it. Actually, the first time I played it, I rented it in 2005 and totally couldn't grasp the controls because I was a child. But then I played like this opening part and put it down for a bit, for like a year, and then came back to it and everything finally clicked. So out of 25, I'd probably give it like a 15 because like once you know what you're doing, it's not bad. But even by like computer RPG standards, it's still like I'm not like it was kind of hard to grasp. I don't know. Maybe RJ has a different opinion because he played it like last year.
So, playing it on PC, I think you could play with the controller and keyboard and mouse. I believe I like switched between the two for a little bit, and I think I did not like the gamepad controls for whatever reason. Um, but like I noticed, like a lot of the menus aren't laid out for like keyboard specifically. So, like in order to like do attacks, you have there's like three windows that are there, and there's some arrows, and then you like click on the arrow to like choose the attack, and then you would queue it up. And it was like I wish there was just like a like, number keys for me to just press and activate, all the different powers at once.
Right.
But it doesn't have that, so I have to, make do with what I've got. But I probably give it about 15 as well, just for uh being like this weird old oldie timey, not fully
Polished,
fleshed out,
you'd say?
polished. Yeah.
So I got two 15s.
Yeah, it's like it's a BioWare game from like before Mass Effect 3, and it's in a BioWare engine from before Mass Effect 3, and it's Obsidian developing it. So it's definitely like, okay, you're not here for the gameplay necessarily.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's definitely like not why we're having this discussion right now.
Controls. We're talking about controls.
No, yeah. You right?
I don't have an opinion. I remember playing the first one on an Xbox, and at the time I was like, this is hard. Also, I'm young, but also this is hard to do. Like, this is a hard game to manipulate because one, I'm on using an Xbox controller, and two, it's a Western style RPG, which is not a genre I'm super keen on. But that's me. Like, that's me coming to it as someone who's not super into these kinds of games.
All right. So
And that's
15.
KOTOR 1. Okay.
Moving on to system utilization. Yeah, that's all y'all. I have no idea.
I guess with the restored content mod, it probably helped a lot of that. Yeah, this is kind of weird because it's like, narratively the game's really strong, but like, talking about like Alderaan swoop races and Bazak and a lot of the stuff that isn't like running around and talking, is kind of drab. And I'm trying to think of like, I mean, so many of the highlights of the game are like doing cool missions, and not necessarily everything else. So,
I mean,
I guess out of
RPGs, I
20
expect the controls not to be terribly complex, honestly.
yeah, it's like, I mean, it's by no measure like unplayable, but a lot of the side stuff that isn't like a side mission is just like, yeah, okay, it's like fine.
Dear Lord, people, that bad?
I again, like the stuff that's like just putting it out there, it's maybe like the second best written game I've ever played. Maybe like
Holy fuck, the
third.
second that you've
It's
ever
like
played.
it up there with like, it's like Empire Strikes Back and this are like the two Star Wars things. I'd say, hey, if you're ever gonna, and the first movie, obviously you have to watch that, but if you're gonna engage with Star Wars, I'd watch like the first 3 movies and play KOTOR 2, and then like if you everything else is downhill. But yeah, I think it's like a top 3 written game.
Holy shit.
But the gameplay is like, it's fine. So for system utilization, I'd probably give it like a, I don't know, 12.
Anything tacked on? Is it using everything? Is it doing RPG things? Like what's
The RPG things are great. Like how you build out your character is really neat. You like the good side and evil side. There's cool things like if you turn evil, your character's skin gets all blotchy, and like that's even true for like the humans you recruit for your party, because you can turn. They have a light side and dark side meter, and so some of that stuff's really neat. But then it's like, oh, there's like hacking, but it's just like you raise the hacking level and then click the hacking button and then they hack the thing. There's not much nuance to it. Again, RJ,
you're saying Western RPGs, so like, yeah, what are other Western RPGs? How does the stack type deal?
Oh yeah, like trying to think like Mass Effect or like I'm playing Fallout 2 right now, which Fallout 2 actually I think this plays better than Fallout 2, but Fallout 2's got other things that make it more interesting to like run around in. I don't know, like yeah, it's cool, but I'm kind of at a loss for like describing kind of the Micronesia of the game because there's not a whole lot to it. Again, RJ played this way more recently, so.
Please.
Micronesia. I think that's an island.
Yeah, you're right. Micro.
The minutia.
Minutia. There you go.
Yeah. It's a sub-region of Oceania consisting of about 2,000 small islands in the north.
The 2,000 small islands of KOTOR 2.
The capital. What do you think about the capital, Palikir?
I think that the system utilization of Palikir is probably also about a 12.
Take a guess on what the currency used in Micronesia is.
E38, the robot.
NFTs.
No, it's the United States dollar.
Ooh.
There you go. USD.
Wait, are you saying you're giving this a 12, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. And then RJ, any
Well,
objections?
so with this game, it is a Western RPG. I've only played a few of those. Don't ask me to name any besides Disco Elysium. And this game has it's interesting. It's like because like if you're like watching gameplay of like this little robot zooming around and he you, like walk up close, enemies see you, and then you enter combat, and then you're kind of just like waiting for your guys to finish killing everything. However, as you get further in the game and then you start getting OP, then you start putting together like different combinations of stuff to like just like wipe out enemies as fast as you can. And in that regard, the game suddenly becomes a lot more fun to me, just because of like how like overpoweredly strong you get in this game. And it's fun like watching like those numbers go up as you are just like whopping the floor of like hundreds of dudes like in some like battlefield and just like running through it real quick, just killing everything.
Is it even comparable, like gameplay wise, to anything? Like, is this kind of like a God Hand situation that we're looking at, where it's kind of like it's almost like its own micro niche type deal, or like what?
I mean, like, cause like KOTOR 1, I would say like plays like this game, but
it's like a lot of the BioWare games from like Mass Effect and Jade Empire.
Oh no, I would say it's because it's so turn-based. Wasn't it more like a Baldur's Gate or a Icewind Dale or?
It's kind of similar with the real time with pause stuff.
It's kind of in the middle, right? It's like, because like when I think of like Mass Effect, I think like this is mostly a third-person shooter. Like this is a third-person shooter. This is an action RPG.
That's fair.
This is not this game. I mean, unless 2 is different. KOTOR 1 is like not action at all.
No,
it's completely turn-based.
Yeah. I mean, same with this. It's
yeah.
Is it turn-based or is it like real time with pause?
What is?
The KOTOR 2.
It is real time with pause.
Okay, that's what everyone's saying turn-based. I was like,
no, because
like you do technically take turns, yes.
Yeah, like you queue up things. You don't like hit the A button to swing your lightsaber.
Right,
you like queue up like lightsaber attack is my next action.
Right.
And it happens.
But like turn-based is like one guy goes and the next guy goes.
Well,
real
because this
is
like D&D rules, which is
yeah.
turn-based.
Yeah.
So because it's like it's in between rounds too. Like it's like this round you like roll this and then they roll their defense. If you miss, then you miss, and then they roll their attack. And if their attack beats your AC or DC or whatever, I don't know D&D rules. Like you do take turns. It's just not shown visually. Like there's a combat log in this game. You can like pause it and you can look up the all the rolls that were going on, because the entire game is a bunch of dice rolls going on in the background, and you can like look and see the dice rolls for everything that you did, including like saving throws for getting stunned or sleep or poison
Mhm.
or whatever. Like it's like all there. You just don't, see it.
And that's right. You can set mines to unlock doors.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying, like Mass Effect is like you aim
Yeah,
and pull
no.
the trigger and you shoot.
You're right.
Yeah.
And it,
I
and
was
yeah.
I was thinking like when I was thinking Mass Effect, I was thinking like everything except the combat.
Yeah. Okay.
hmm
That does, yeah, it does have a lot of similarities.
But yeah, no, it's a lot like Baldur's Gate where it's real time with pause.
Hmm.
And then let's
I
see.
actually
there's-
prefer the gameplay in this to Baldur's Gate because I really don't like real time with pause normally. But this game, I think because it's pretty easy,
Mm.
it's not as annoying.
then there's Pazak. I hate Pazak. Fuck Pazak. I hate that card game.
But Zox, yeah,
What? It's like they're poker or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's when-
pure
Pazak.
Pazak is what it is, and I hate it.
Oh no. Of course.
There's Swoop Racing, which
Swoop
is
racing.
again,
You go on.
shout out to VHS 33,
Nice.
A real one.
master of Swoop Racing. Yeah, that's just a game where you like run over some boost pads and try to go as fast as you can, and you do that about 5 different times on each planet until you have made a lot of money.
And
And
my
then you
Planet
get
3
the
minigame,
world
nice.
record with VHS 133.
33.
33.
Oh, sorry.
For everyone watching, I mean, I understand we have a really large audience here. Don't like Brigade VHS 33. Like, he's we don't want controversy with VHS 33. Like, what's going on?
Tell him Stat sent you.
No, I don't like. If you're gonna go over there, show him love, like show him respect. Like he's grinding. He's grinding, just like all of us. And
Tell him
Yeah.
Ryan sent you over here to dox him.
I
Oh yeah, come back with his address and social security.
I have a
Nice.
question that is semi-unreal because you mentioned like this is a Western RPG like Disco Elysium. I'm pretty sure Disco Elysium was developed in like Estonia or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is this West?
Is that
So
the
yeah,
West?
like what do we consider like what is
Not China
our
at this
metric
point.
for a
like,
Western
what?
RPG? Like America or Europe?
America or
yeah,
Japan?
Asia and Oceania is the East, and Australia. And then, even though Australia, I actually don't know. how
Australia's
that gets
the West.
designated.
It's the West.
I mean, it's in the Eastern
They
hemisphere.
might as well just be the West.
So
I'm just
everything
asking,
you
like,
do.
stylistically for this game, like, Western RPGs means
So
Non-Japanese.
what I
Non-Japanese,
yeah,
okay.
mostly we'll see like non-Japanese stuff, but like Japanese games have like a certain or JRPGs in general have like a certain like philosophy with
Mhm.
their games, and like Western devs have a completely different one, and it's like night and day when you play one or the other. Because usually like most Western RPGs have a huge focus on like the story, the characters, and the like the world, the setting itself. Well, usually most of the time, like JRPGs are leaning a little bit more into like that gameplay aspect of the game. And like there's more like you have like less control over like how your characters are set up in a JRPG, whereas compared to like as a Western RPG, you have like you can really like customize like the stats on a character. Like say like Morrowind or whatever, you can like go in and like if you want to make a character to be like a stealth archer man, like you can
I feel you. I feel you.
put the right points into there and like make that character be that. Where most like JRPG games they like level up in a linear fashion, where it's like Cloud is always like a really good attacker or whatever. Even though there's like customization in those games as well, there's more focus on like your character in a Western RPG, if that makes sense.
For sure. I'm just like, are we considering is in this conversation is the Western RPG a game that BioWare made before Mass Effect 2, or is it like a Bethesda game, a BioWare game, a Blizzard game? That's
Yeah,
Diablo, I guess.
I guess
Like,
the
do those
genre,
all count?
just Western RPG. Sure. Just
Yeah.
what do we got? What? How does it stack?
So RJ, what would you give for system utilization?
System utilization, I think probably go for like a 13.
Well, 12 and 13 will come out to be the 13 with that 12.5. So nice. We are moving on, moving up in the world.
Conveying information.
Yep, conveying information. I'm sure some of that has had to have seeped into the conversation already. Just I can't actually relay that back to how is this game conveying anything? I'm
menus are very
watching it
green.
and I'm very like, what the fuck is going on? Because I'm trying to understand and I still don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's obviously not going to get an 8.
I feel like because like most of the information that is like being conveyed is like via story, and that's just like the
Right.
story being conveyed. But like actually like moving around in the game is like it's pretty simple. There's a cursor, and you walk up to the thing, and you hit A or click on it, and your character starts to interact with the thing, and then there's like a list of things you can do with this object.
I haven't
And
seen
it
that
clearly
yet.
tells you like what it's going to do if you do it, or if you have enough points in a skill, if you can access it or not. Otherwise, it will say
How about this?
your points are too low.
It's actually not nearly as bad as it looks. Once you know what everything does, like figuring out what you're supposed to do is actually pretty straightforward.
Ooh, she got a new
Got rid
fit.
of her Adidas.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely like it's kind of not a super steep learning curve, but it's not like immediately evident what everything does or what you're supposed to do with everything. But it's not as bad as it looks in this footage.
It's probably like if anything is like learning how to build your character.
Right.
Is probably the most like difficult thing you're going to like learn, and but you'll have to like struggle with, but you'll learn it like what to do pretty quickly. I feel.
So number.
Yeah, I
10?
never really had trouble like getting lost or anything, except in missions where that was the point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess I'd give it like a 6. Like,
Six?
because like the story itself, like the part that you're there for, is pretty well conveyed.
But then that's story, like just like gameplay stuff.
Mhm. Just
presentation, the story.
yeah. Like, I'm sitting at like a 7 for conveying information because I didn't have much problems being able to navigate this game.
Oh, all right. Either way, it's coming out with a 7. Sound design. Yeah. How does this game?
It's like John Williams' score, so it's Star Wars. It's like one of the best musical.
Yeah, that's music.
Things.
You got all
great.
the voice acting.
Voice acting's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Sound effects are straight out the movie. I think it gets a 5.
That top tier mark.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you talk about how we gave like Kirby. It's like everything is instantly recognizable. That's the same.
Yeah, like that's like definitely
You
the same as
can-
Star Wars.
Yeah, you can like I can hear the swoop sound noises like in my brain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very like I won't say iconic sounds, but they're very recognizable. Like if you were to play sounds from this, I'd be like, oh, that's Star Wars for sure.
All balanced, like nothing, just like balancing wise, everything good, and yeah.
Mhm.
This
Yeah,
is
it's not.
great.
No, there's nothing that's like, oh god, remember that part where the music's too loud or anything? No.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just play the Star Wars theme, but it's like 120% volume. But,
Right, yeah. Yeah, 1.5 speed.
poor remix of
Targeting visuals. I think it's safe to say, is it just shooting for like the movie? Like
Yeah,
I don't see an attempt to stylize
shooting
it.
for BioWare's vision of the movie. Actually, one thing I think is really clever, maybe clever is not the right term, but cute, is that like all the dialogue boxes and menu boxes uses the long time ago in a galaxy far, far away text.
Mm.
oh, does it? Is that what the font is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's more obvious when you're looking at like the dialogue.
Yeah.
Stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, it's like it hits the Star Wars aesthetic. It's definitely kind of a drab looking game because it's
Mhm.
past its prime and it was trying to not go for anything stylish. But
I'm giving it a 3. It's very Xbox average.
yeah, I'd say that's probably fair.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not giving it a score. I abstain.
I rebuke.
But yeah, you see the hey, watch out.
Yeah, like that font definitely. Are we doing threes across the board, or you got anything different, RJ?
Hold on. Do I have something to counterbalance this? No.
Oh.
I can't find my screenshot.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. He had a couple of visual bugs at some point.
Oh shit! You're gonna give it less?
No, I'll give it 3. But
Alright.
I was trying to see if I could find my my horror stories.
Oh, you can also get some cool ass fucking lightsabers, like not just like red and blue.
Yeah.
You get like a purple lightsaber. You can get that in the first game too, but it's still cool as fuck.
The
I
Samuel
like the
Jackson
menus and
saber?
shit. Yeah, you can get the Mace Windu. You can get like orange and some really crazy colors.
Nice. Well, some of its parts though. So all said and done, how is it all coming together?
X points.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games ever. 7.
Damn.
It like fucking tosses the sum of its parts out the side of the car while moving.
what?
Super-
What does that
it is
even
way-
mean?
It is like super exceeds the sum of its parts.
Holy
Like this
shit!
game looks like crap, and it's one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Okay, same with you, RJ, or anything different?
Oh yeah, it's max points because it just fucking like all the things that I am thinking about that this video is like showing me. I'm just like, man, things get kicked up to like 11 once you like get past this fucking intro scene, and there's like so many different twists and turns going on with the story. I love the characters.
Nice.
It's like one of the best RPG parties ever.
Yeah, like
Jesus.
there's like a lot of things going on in that game that I'm like, oh yeah.
So in that case, if we're moving on to fun factor, what are you feeling?
I give it about a 5 because I still am not a fan of the combat system. Like once I got the like OP abilities and started just like my way through everything.
Yeah.
Just literally
Sorry,
just
you
like
what?
spinning. I just went brrr and just started like spinning lightsabers, General Grievous style enemies until they died.
Okay.
I would like use the fucking Jedi powers to like fry everyone's brains and just go in and stab them to death before they could like move again. Like every time I think about this game, I just smile.
So at some point,
Um,
like combat becomes sort of like a solved problem for you. You're just like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my thing that will work, and it's pretty consistently functional.
And the game doesn't really force combat on you to the point where it's like, oh god, please, I just want to get to the
Force.
next story. Haha, yeah, good.
What number?
I'd go with a 5. It's like, it's not like the perfect playing video game, but it's a really fucking fun one.
Turtle? What did you just share with us?
What?
The T-posing dinosaur.
Wait! I gotta see this.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Are you sure that's not from Star Fox Adventures?
It was all the way in the background, and it was shooting at me with sonic blasters. It was very weird.
Look, it's an Obsidian game.
Clearly.
It's an Obsidian game.
And he was T-posing. It was
Just gotta
great.
look past that stuff.
So what are we on? We are on the story. Well, based on the way you guys are talking, is it just safe to assume the story's a 6? Like,
Yeah,
Yes.
like it's almost unfair that 6 is the max score you can give this game.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it's up there with the very, very best that the medium has given, at least that I've played.
bullshit.
You think the story in the medium is not as good as the story in
I don't think the story in the medium is gonna be as good as KOTOR 2.
That's fair. I've heard the medium's okay, but like
Mhm.
And for its time, what do you got?
How was this game received back then?
when it was first released,
Yeah.
yeah,
pretty poorly.
Not great.
I mean, I don't want to burst your guys. Like, I hate this. I hate being such a hater. Like, I don't want to be.
What?
But let me see if GameSpot still has its review of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely. This game is a cult classic in part because, like, it was pretty hated on when it came out, especially pre-restored content stuff.
So yeah, I think the version we're seeing doesn't have any of that stuff going on, correct? Like this is just a vanilla.
This is-
Oh, you know what? This game got an 8.5 from Games. That might have been a re-release though. An 8.5.
Wikipedia usually.
Because like when this game first came out on like the Xbox, I remember because like the mod helps a lot because it was even buggier.
Well, it had like IGN gave it a 9.3 on the Xbox.
Okay.
I guess people really liked the writing back then. Well, never mind.
Never mind.
Huh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Fucking killing it.
Never
How
mind.
y'all doing? What do you want to give?
3 out of 3. It's a masterpiece. even in its day.
Same for you, RJ, or
Yeah, I guess, yeah. The reviews don't lie.
all right.
Game
The
journalists have
reviews.
never been wrong.
Alrighty then. So all the number. I'm like trying to get the box art right now.
It's
Hell
not gonna.
I'm getting the box art. Listen, it's a
Ooh.
it's a hard life.
Remembering how cool my guy was by the end of the game.
Get in the box art just to say. Made like a 75.
Unfortunately, yeah, it only made a 73. So this is another one.
Hey, I didn't hate this thing. I did not. I abstained scores. I was not here to like rain down your parade. This was your score.
Yep, you
This
did
is-
it.
This is your fault, Ryan.
I did not. No, it's not.
He
It's not my
somehow
fault.
did it.
You were
It
the
is-
hater.
I was not the hater. I have like one score in this, and I think it's for like cultural relevancy and everything
Oh.
else. I was like, no, fuck it.
You
It's-
gave it a 0.
You do it. I did not give it a 0. I said like this is a kind of a cult classic game. Like it holds water. It's not.
okay.
I'm not in that cult. Like it's not my. Those aren't my people. But I see it. I respect it.
I would have given it a
believe
0.
Ryan used his hater powers to knock this off the list.
I mean, yeah,
Well-
Killer 7 and like these are like two games I'm like kind of just based on the dialogue y'all had on it and just like the end result is just kind of like yeah,
Yep.
that's something.
The not a banger category is looking pretty good, honestly.
I mean, yeah,
also,
that
like, Xenoblade.
Engage
I just
right
remember
there.
Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, it was freaking Xenoblade, Sonic Adventure,
The Engage.
Donkey Kong.
No.
Look, Engage doesn't count. I'm skipping it.
It-
Donkey Kong 94, Mystical Ninja Goemon, the sequel.
like
feel
all
like any game we're
still
gonna bring
solid
up to all
games,
lines.
but yeah, we're talking about like these are top class. Too many things going right for them. They all can't make the cut, unfortunately, and we just got throw God Hand down there eventually. We'll get there, but not now.
No, God Hand stays up there.
when
forever.
we rate God Hand for the third time.
Yeah, well, third rating of God
Our
Hand.
third rating on God Hand.
Oh, damn. That
anyone
was,
have any suggestions now that you
RJ
stabbed
and-
me in the heart.
RJ and Ryder last.
I didn't do
again.
it. I didn't do it.
Oh,
You gave
I
good scores.
tried my best, man.
I know. I my honest scoring hurt. me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
what it is,
there's
man.
only 6 points for story.
Yeah.
I would still highly recommend having you
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's better than all the games stats suggested.
Whoa, the end gauge is. Let's not sleep. Let's not sleep on that.
I highly recommend everyone get the Engage as well.
Engage. I know there's a phone port of Knights of the Old Republic, but it's like an iOS port, so you can't play Knights of the Old Republic on an Engage. I don't think you could do that unless there's like a Engage hacking scene.
But there's a will, there's a way, and I'll let you have the will.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's up on
Call me
YouTube
William.
now.
Well-
Do you have one?
I do since that RPG didn't work out.
Gotcha.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. What are we
okay.
doing?
I'm gonna do Paper Mario instead.
My boy,
Hey.
I'm on your team right now with the
I'm
OG,
abstaining from this
right?
one as well.
Really? Oh,
Never played
dude, you
Paper
should 100% play that. It's fantastic.
Which one? I'm guessing it's the 64 one.
Yep, Paper Mario 64.
64.
All right, go ahead.
Really, there's like
I'm not gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna.
I
Run it.
believe there is a HD texture mod out for it actually for Project 64 that's very faithful to the original art style. Would highly recommend if you've never played it, get that and you're gonna see like, fire.
You're gonna do the Mario when you see this HD text.
Swing your arms from side to side.
That's from the TV show and not the movie, right?
Mario.
Shut up, dude. I'm asking a question that's actually important and not what you're
It's
talking
from
about.
Holy
From the TV
shit.
show? Okay.
Yeah.
It's from it's Captain Lou
Take
Albano.
a
It's,
step,
yeah.
and then again. Let's
Yeah.
do the Mario all together now.
Keep take us away.
You are not selling me on this Paper Mario game.
What do you mean? Do the Mario.
That
Ryan,
doesn't sound.
Ryan, do the Mario. Do the
Are
Mario.
you Albano pilling, Ryan?
He hates. I can't believe he hates Captain Lou. He told me I'd go to hell if I did drugs before I die.
Like
Dropping
Captain
acid with
Lou
the
told
plumbers.
you would.
He died in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just showing
He
up like
lived pretty
the
long
the
for
the
a personal
HD
wrestler.
texture pack on it. This is not the OG
Like a
game.
manager.
This is
But-
the one where they like change the stars and the shine sprite or some shit.
No. So like
okay,
I believe
what's
the dude had done not only he did like a Paper Mario TTYD overhaul for the game, and then he also just did like more like the box art overhaul for the game. So you could just pick and choose which one you want for all the sprites. It's very very good. If you have not played
Yeah.
it and you want a cleaner looking Paper Mario, very good.
Yeah, if you're telling me this is the 64 game modded,
Yeah.
that does look really good.
Yeah, like,
That's impressive.
but
But
let-
most
let-
texture packs can kind of look sort of like, oh, I see what you did, but like, damn, okay.
let's get back to
CRT
the
filter.
yeah. They got a CRT
It was
filter
just
on
like
it.
the outline looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
But already,
Because like the later Mario games have Paper Mario ones have like that weird white outline.
yeah. But like they definitely cleaned it up. Like you could kind of just do the visual comparison for yourself. Yeah, they cleaned up all the sprites, they cleaned up all the characters, and it's a very charming game to look at. It's charming to look at. Then it's definitely like it's been one upped definitely by the Origami King. Has definitely one up this game super fucking hard. But it's still
Thousand-year door one up this game.
yes. Everything is one up the game, but it's still like a
Like
nice little style they got going.
in my head, Paper Mario looks like the first N64 one looks like Origami King in my head. Like that's how I imagine it looking. And then I come back and I go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't that, but oh shit. Well, yeah,
Mario's
cultural
Super
relevance. This is like another one. He's looking up Mario Brothers Super
Nothing else to
Show.
do, man. I never played this game.
Oh, I love it.
This was like the
Uh,
Nintendo 64 game the weird kids owned. Like this and
Oh.
I
this
knew.
and
Jet
Jet
Force Gemini.
I own Jet Force Gemini. Right?
Yeah, well, you're that kid.
Yeah, I knew like one person who had this game in elementary school.
Yeah,
And I didn't play it until years later. Like
And I
until
was
a
that
few years
guy.
ago.
And I'd be like,
Yeah.
no, I have GoldenEye. I would play
Right.
GoldenEye. Like that's what I
1080
got.
snowboarding.
The cool
Mm.
game.
Times Paper Mario.
Ricky Winterborn.
Here goes the boom.
Holy
And when are we
shit.
talking about 1080?
Paper
I have to
Mario
replay 1080 before I talk about
Damn.
1080.
has
Make that a
53 active viewers and then 147k followers. How many active people playing right now?
This game.
Right this very moment, right now, there are
dude,
1,
hold
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people playing Paper Mario this very instant. Doing some type of speed run and or just playing it.
Yeah, 56 viewers. He's right.
Like
At the same time, Paper Mario is like
this
one of
old.
the more niche Mario things.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even have a Smash version, and there's 5 links.
Yeah, they never did like a Paper Mario. They did Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Which I
They
feel
have
like by
Game &
now
Watch.
this is
They
way
can
more
do it
relevant
to
than
me.
Dr. Mario.
I think he does have a- he has a trophy.
Paper Mario.
He has a trophy, but I think they before like the Mario and Luigi series teamed up with Paper Mario. This was more so played off as like this is just Mario, like that, and there's like a paper gimmick around it for some reason, but like it's never like hint winked at like this is another version of it. It's just Mario, but he's paper.
Yeah. But also this is like so I just pulled up some unconfirmed sales figures, but it looks like those games like the best selling one is Origami King at 3 million. Oh no, sorry, Super Paper Mario on the Wii sold 4 million.
I 100% believe that.
Like
For
this is
sure.
like not close to being the Mario that your average person knows.
No.
But I would still probably give it like a 9 on the relevancy.
I too would give it a 9.
All right, he's giving it a 9. Let me go to my list. Yeah, I was using the numbers over there. Based on that, had a pretty good presence for its time. Kind of fell off, and the lingering scene remaining. It's kind of hovering with these low active players. Yeah, I'm giving it like a 10. So do we have 2 9s and a 10?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the GameCube game is the cult classic, and the Wii game is the one that like kind of broke through a little bit. I think the N64 game in particular is like more niche than some of the other games in the series.
Yeah. Do you consider the Mario and Luigi RPGs that came out on the GBA to be of the same franchise because they're kind of similar?
No. They're definitely
No.
very
they had a
different.
crossover. It's like
It's
when the
a-
Flintstones
yeah.
and the Jetsons met.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
I feel like
perfect
one of
analogy
those-
for that. Actually.
Yeah, it is.
That
I
is
feel
a
like
very good
one
analogy.
of those is probably more popular than this game too, like the GBA one or like the first DS one. 'Cause
Right.
There's one of those has like a lot. People have a lot of reverence for.
Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah, I think that's
That
it.
yeah, that's like the one for the Mario
love that
and
game.
Luigi. Like
Yep.
people are just jerking that game off. But anywho,
I
10.
don't really have an opinion on this one. Like I said, it's the one that the weird kids owned. And no shame in that. But I think I had a Dreamcast by the time this game came out, so whatever.
He was a
It's
cool
also
kid.
pretty late in 64.
Yeah, it is.
It's
You
2001.
know what I don't like
right?
about this texture pack?
What?
The speech bubbles. I don't like the little outline blocking the little like where the little speech bubble line is supposed to be like.
I mean,
talking to.
that's
It's like-
fair, but like, fuck, man, look at the job this guy did. Like, he has.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
shading,
it's great.
dude.
Yeah, but those text boxes, I hate. Look at that.
Like,
It
please.
sticks out like a sore thumb, and I hate
You
it.
There
could
is
put
a
this
better
out
way to
right
play this
now.
game, and it is this. This is the way you need to play
Yeah.
this game if you have not played it. Please,
That's
for the love of God,
insane.
because they did a very good job. You saw the difference. Do not play. Just play this. Project 64. Play this. Anywho, controls. Talking RPGs. Yeah, this is like baby's first RPG. They do have some platforming. This is where I would say like the platforming is a bit clunky, but it's like it doesn't. It's platforming's not the focus. Yeah, like there's like the Boo House, which like this puzzle platforming. There's like Tubba Blubba's Castle has like some of like the platforms that you gotta be invisible for. The platforms that go up and down, but like it's pretty much you have a partner that will help you glide temporarily to cross this stuff, and the platforming's more so used as like a blockade to keep you from going places that you shouldn't be
Ursula
going.
blockade.
Yeah, shoot him or something. Oh shit, yeah, but like fucking yeah, just the RPG character sure does RPG. Like he attacks when he needs to. The action commands work when they need to. He handles in the
Unless you're
overworld
drunk.
as he should. Yeah, like that is like my only criticism against it. Really, is like when you try to have Mario kind of sort of do the Mario platforming, not the best, not super broken. Yeah, it's like a 24. Like you. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't recall. Like, I remember like Thousand Year Door, like the active, the press the button at the right time stuff was a little more engaging, but it, like, as far as function goes, I think went perfectly fine. So I'd probably give it like a 24 as well.
Okay. RJ, and
It's not like KOTOR where it's like a kind of a confusing mess.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
How about
Control's really good.
you, RJ?
What is that? 24? Yeah.
Jack Bauer,
Jack Bauer is
Paper
Bowser.
Mario.
Yes.
Damn.
He
Okay.
found
Captain Lou Albano versus that. What did you just say?
that. Jack Bauer.
Jack versus Jack Bauer. Who wins?
Lou
Some do,
Albano.
I think.
Lou Albano.
Yeah. Just pulls a rubber band off his face and snaps it at Kiefer Sutherland. who's too
Kiefer
drunk to do-
Sutherland versus Chris Pratt. Get your Chris Pratt jokes in. What's your
I
Chris
don't-
Pratt take on
I don't know
Mario?
anything about Chris Pratt. Just that.
Much-
Mushroom Kingdom.
Here
Mushroom Kingdom.
we come.
Oh yeah, he
Yep.
is Mario, isn't he?
He's Mario.
I'm gonna see the fuck out of
Uh-oh.
them. I'm gonna see
That's
the fuck
gonna
out
be
of that movie.
terrible. I'm so upset that Chris Pratt is gonna be Mario in a Mario movie.
Why?
It ruins my day.
I mean, you can
Well,
definitely tell he's being genuine.
yeah,
I'm
he's.
really genuine
I
about how
just
much I
assume
care.
nobody is sarcastic at all. I just take everybody at face value.
That's a
Mhm.
good idea.
Has always worked.
Yep.
Oh,
RJ.
Did he
his
just
real
pick
doll.
up? What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck was that?
It's a
Mario's going back to his room and giving Luigi.
I think I found this for you.
System
Luigi,
utilization.
I
Wait,
got a friend in Japan.
RJ, number.
Oh, yeah.
What was
It's
it?
24.
What? I said 24.
Oh.
The number we all deserve.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's where the 24 joke came from. Okay. So
System
I was looking at a video on
utilization.
LinkedIn from a recruiter who was like, the things we
Paper
do
Mario,
today,
really.
the things we do today become the things we do tomorrow. So do today what you seek to do in the next year. Remember that every day. Stay
The
hard. I'm like,
evil
"All
that
right,
I
dude."
Be
do
hard,
do.
But what
Way
is
ahead of you.
today, but yesterday is tomorrow.
Oh shit, you're right. I will learn.
Oh shit, the little
Yeah,
baby.
he is.
Yeah, Junior Troopa. We just forgot about him. The whole rest of Paper Mario.
Nice.
But anyway, system utilization. What do we got? Ah, shit. I need like the Toad Town, the badges, the action commands, the. Were there any mini games of sorts? I just...
Yeah. They're like
The dojo.
the
The
dojo.
the dojo fights using the fortune teller was there. You had
Yeah.
a bunch of people in town to talk to. Yeah, like
Collecting star pieces.
this is almost, yeah, this truly is like, it's just going through the RPG motion without kind of like the higher numbers and more like complexities of it all. It really is just like a streamlined, easy to pick up
Yeah.
and play, kind of learn what an RPG is about. Like this is
Yeah.
stripped down.
It's
Honestly.
I mean, it is like RJ said with like the Japanese RPG philosophy. It's like you're not really customizing Mario. You're just, I mean, you have the badges, so you
Yeah,
can kind of build it out a little bit. But
Mhm.
Mario
not the
levels
point.
up, his attack goes up.
No.
You choose.
No, it's
Oh,
the boots.
yeah,
It's the
sorry.
boots.
Yeah,
the
you're
boots.
right.
The boots and the hammer. Yeah.
It
It really is just
Yeah.
badge customization is all you have. But yeah, like Mario's Mario. He's
I would say the thing that would probably put this game not at like max score is that the sequel just has everything but more and better.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the only thing this game, like, people kind of forget like how much backtracking kind of became a Paper Mario
Oh.
1000 Year Door towards the end. It was like almost like the game didn't have enough time towards the end. Like the last couple of
Yeah.
areas just become like, what is this? But then I think it's
That's
like
okay.
chapter 4 is like kind of when that happens, because you're like, I go to the place, they come back, I go to the place, they come back. Like Paper
Yeah,
Mario
you gotta
is,
go back to all the old levels to find what's
yeah, like the high, but Paper Mario is none of that. This is like the full, like every area is fleshed out. This is probably better in the level design aspect, but Paper Mario definitely, I know what you're getting at. Like it
Mhm.
has just
the stuff
more.
you can do with badges in the sequel is like nuts.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Just out of 20, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'd give this like a 18.
He's
Ooh,
looking
we
at
don't
LinkedIn
have-
profiles. Like he's bettering himself. I'm talking about Paper Mario. Like, there's two very different economies happening right now. Let's see.
Sorry. I didn't play it. I didn't
He
play the game.
apologizes.
You're allowed
Wait.
to
Wait.
swing your balls from side to side, get down a cigarette, do your homework. It's me, Mario. Let's go. Lamborghini, spaghetti, meatball, rigatoni.
He really says Lamborghini. Oh shit.
He does say like he no.
Guy in the
Mario
comments.
whipped in a Lambo.
Nice.
I'm reading comments for to you right now.
You know,
because that's
Mario
where-
got a tribal tattoo at one point.
He did.
Yeah, they released a tribal tattoo themed Game Boy Advance and advertised it with Mario with a tribal tattoo.
You're right. I thought you were making a joke, but no, you're completely fucking right. There is an ad. Yeah, fuck shit, they did. God damn it. Give the cultural relevance, put it down like a couple points. They did do that. That's like a magazine ad.
For what? This?
No, for no, unrelated to Paper Mario, but
Oh.
related to Mario. and
Yeah,
being cool.
dude. He's basically Bill Goldberg.
What is happening?
I don't understand anymore.
Tribal Edition Game Boy Advance SP.
Fuck yeah.
This was from a different time and era when like Nintendo was still trying to be like the cool, edgy, like
Cool
neighbor
edgy.
you knew.
What?
It's
Play it
cool enough for
loud.
Mario.
Does anyone not remember like the old like GameCube commercials?
Oh, maybe some.
Yeah, shit was bonkers.
I remember the PS3
Yeah.
baby commercial. Like that album was bonkers.
I
The
remember
PS3 was on like a whole nother planet.
I was like, what the fuck is going on with these? Why is this for the PS3?
And then they went the PSP squirrel direction, and that was like, oh no. Those were bad then. They're real bad now.
RJ, what would you give to the system utilization?
What happened there?
I got tied with-
Don't you want to talk about that more? Anyway,
I got tied
I give it about 18.
Yeah, we're all square there. Like, yeah, I can't. 18. Conveying information, babies first. I could give this to literally anybody. They would fucking get it. 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snack scores all around. I love that the numbers are simple, and I remember like, oh man, getting a 9. Wow, amazing.
Huge damage, dude. Got a 9.
I'm seeing a lot of 1 damage happening, and I'm like, what?
But he only has 10 HP.
Yeah, he only has 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's one of those things that were like Paper Mario is kind of like a mental adjustment because you're so used to everyone having 200 HP and doing 35 damage.
yeah. It's like such a like a simplistic RPG that like you don't have to like
Yeah.
wrap your
I
head
see.
around too hard.
I guess like this right here, this would be like a thing with Paper Mario 1000 Year Doors that's better. Like he has like the option to super guard or guard, so he like if you can action command the enemy because you know them so well perfectly, you just will never take damage because you can just perfectly guard them. Versus this one can only just kind of negate some of it, and you're always gonna take damage.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that this guy isn't even like using any of the.
He doesn't have the action commands yet.
Okay.
That is an item he gets after he meets Twink. His name is Twink.
Right.
So do we agree 8's all around for
Yeah.
information?
They're like, this is
Sound design.
very distinct sound again. But whoa, what happened to Cooper for a second? What's going on? he
Why
like
is he
turned,
like not the
he turned to old Cooper for like a split
Yeah.
second.
Oh.
They've been doing that. Like, no, I've been watching this. Like, there are holes in the
Yeah, like there's some. They gotta
some
clean them up.
things.
guess I
Like,
you just get original hardware then.
An attack animation or two will be like, oh, it's going back to the old because they just something they couldn't replace.
We're not done, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
sound design.
I don't know. Sound design. I don't remember. I don't remember like.
I'm not like wow about it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
Yeah,
like it's distinct, but not wow is how I would say.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
That's
what
like
was that
4.
for? Sure. Yeah, I'll go 4. It
Like
sounds all right.
sounds been one upped. Music been one upped by like this game has just been one upped pretty much. And
Mhm.
what like that right there. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's been doing that. Like that's seems to be part of this.
Oh well, it's not
I'm
done.
like, whatever. It's a Nintendo 64 game. I'm still just like,
Yeah, wow.
holy shit.
Mhm.
There it is.
They didn't do sprites for every animation. Looks like.
Yeah.
Any
Target
RJ
visuals?
sound?
Or yeah, sorry
Oh,
about that.
I guess 3.
Oh, 3. Yeah, either way, it's still
Yeah.
4 because 2 4s and a 3. But
Ryan, you abstaining?
I was abstaining.
All right.
I'm abstaining from all of this. Like I did not.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah.
Target visuals. I mean, this is not a good
representation,
conveyor
but
of
I would
that.
say Origami
It-
King. Origami King is
Whoa.
pretty much like how they would do it for Paper Mario. Like that is like the de facto. This is the paper world
Yeah.
without
I would
any
s-
sacrifices. So compared to that,
And the Z's and Dizzy attack. They didn't. And the available text is gone.
Wow,
This is the
man.
version they'll play, huh?
yes,
This is
yes,
the
it
version
is.
to play.
Yeah, please play this one. It's very nice.
I played the original version, and I mean, not like on N64, but I emulated it,
Yeah, the
and
Wii.
it definitely looked crusty.
What I would say is that this Paper Mario didn't start looking like Paper Mario until Thousand Year Door when they actually like kind of fully leaned in onto the paper mechanic or
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the setting. Like Paper Mario 1 just feels like just like a weird like RPG and they're 2D sprites.
Yeah, they don't really do much with the aesthetic in the first game.
Which
Yeah.
is very fair. Yeah, they don't lean into that a lot.
I would even go so far as
I
to
would say
like
3.
I'd say like almost like a 2 because it's kind of like it's not like hideous, but it's like kind of ugly, and they went with this weird aesthetic and didn't actually do much with it.
I almost agree with him. Yeah, like if Origami King is the 5, like Super Paper Mario and the TTYD are like the 4, 3, and the Wii U one is also very nice looking. Not as nice, but yeah, like that's one people will just skip over because it's all about toes and whatnot. But yeah, also very, very pretty looking, and like that's like a very will lean into the paper aspect. Yeah, that's just like 2 compared to like what they've
Yeah.
done with it.
Like you just have to remember, like we're looking at this weird mod version, but like the Nintendo 64 is a crunchy looking console. Like it just does
Yeah.
not age
Mhm.
well. And like if you're
Very few
I
things did.
know you're not rating things based on like for their time, fine. But like if you are at all considering the hardware limitations, then like the Nintendo 64 needs a real big handy because it's just not. I mean, I'm looking at this. Now I kind of wish I was looking at the original, but like
Alright.
the fact there isn't fog every 10 feet is like kind of an accomplishment, right? The fact that it's not like the surrounding area around you is not super blurry because they can't render that much. Like I
Yeah.
think for a Nintendo 64 game, this looks pretty good. But I'm giving it the hardware like
Yeah, like the hard,
thing. Like this
yeah,
doesn't look,
that's where you split it up. I'm just like,
you know.
I know the art now. I know the art style they're going for because I've seen them realize it.
That's
And
kind
now
of
I'm
the
like,
thing. It's like, yeah, this aesthetic is done better, like visually and mechanically in other games.
Yeah. Like it is doing the flat character thing, and that does
Yeah.
matter. Like it's not like they're doing nothing with it. It's just like they can't do as much as they probably do in the future, which
Mhm.
like that's fair.
I wouldn't even say that. I just think they just didn't think to do it. I don't want to sell the N64 that short.
I'd sell it. Oof.
N64 is pretty crusty looking.
This is crusty. It's the crustiest 3D console, except for Saturn. But
Nah, like PS1 is crustier than that one for sure.
PS1
32-bit
just has,
versus
like,
64-bit.
warbly textures.
PS1 has warbly textures, but it has games that will fit on a disc. Like it can play audio. It can play audio that's longer than 5 seconds. That's kind of nice. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that like you guys are. I feel like I'm looking at this game and it kind of feels like you're selling it short. Like, oh, they're doing nothing with the paper aesthetic. Like they're doing
I mean,
something here.
you can offer a score since this is something you can just use your eyes.
Yeah,
to kinda,
just use your eyes.
I would give what's that out of 5?
Mhm.
Yeah. 2
I'd
2s. RJ
probably-
got a 3.
I'd probably give this a 4.
Are you a 3, RJ, or?
Yeah, I'm going for 3.
All right, so 4, 2, 3. Okay, there we go.
Should be a 3, I believe.
He's what? Oh no, I just didn't divide it by enough of a number. Yeah, it's a 3.
Hey. Some of its parts.
Fuck, man.
I mean, even before Thousand Year Door, I was like, yeah, this game's pretty good.
Just like, yeah. Let me look at my list again. So all things are well come together in spite some flaws. All things come together. Some flaws. Most things come together. Let's see. What is a flaw though? Like it's simple, and that's not a flaw. It's simplistic.
That could be a flaw.
That's a really, really philosophical. Like, what is a flaw?
I'm trying to think of like what do I call a flaw in Paper Mario?
This game, like you talking about the simplicity. This game is like if Kirby Forgotten Land ended at the main game, where it's like, oh yeah, and didn't have like the super cool stuff afterwards, it'd be like, this is pretty good, but it's not like aside from the dojo, I remember the dojo being quite a bit, but beyond that, the game is like pretty piss easy.
Even like the
out of
difficulties.
7, I would give this game like 5.
Yeah, like a 5-6, because like I know like there's more to be done here with this simple combat system because I played the others,
Yeah.
and I know like
Yeah.
you're missing some stuff here. This is like the most bare bones the system could be type deal. So that's what's keeping me from also being like a perfect score. It's kind of like it's like a 6, honestly. We got a 6.
For me, it's a 5 because of what I know is to come in the future.
Yeah, compared to other games in its own series, it
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
much less other games in the genre.
5. All right. The fun factor for me, that's that's a 4. I like it when I'm playing it. It's not something I'm like looking to seek out.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know about
I go
y'all.
with 4. I go with a 4.
Nostalgia 5.
Jesus Christ. It's just unashamed with the criticism. It's like, yeah, Kirby was round, he was wet. Yeah.
Is Mario wet?
Mario doesn't get wet in this game.
Yeah, I
He's
think water would
paper.
actually kill him. Not until he learns how to adapt to that in the sequel.
Okay.
The laminated sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a game I would definitely hold story accountable for because it is an RPG, which is a lot of story. So what goes on here? Bowser gets a magic rod stolen from 7 star spirits. He uses it to grant any wish he wants. He wishes to be invincible for the one fight Mario fights him, and then steals. He locks away the 7 star spirits because we don't have the swords. It's not Mario RPG. We lock them away. Mario has to get them back because combined they can counteract the star rod pretty much. Along the way, there's some. You meet some party members. They're not as. They're not. Yeah, they don't have like a big persona thing like in Paper Mario 2. Definitely, they're just sort of. They go along for the ride. Maybe Bow's a character. Of the party members, who do you remember from Paper Mario?
I remember Lady Bow,
Yeah,
Goombario.
Goombario, dude. Well, that's because he was a
Goombario.
Chad in battle.
I remember Bootler.
And Bootler is not even a character.
Yeah,
He's not a.
I remember Lady Bow because Bootler came with her. But
Bootler?
there's like, yeah,
So he's a butler. That's a
butler.
boo.
I think that was my Steam handle for like a year.
It was, and I was like, "Oh, that's a stupid gym thing." Okay, whatever. I didn't think it was a character. I didn't think I wasn't
Damn,
paying too much
5 damage.
attention.
Holy crap.
Let's
Yeah,
find
there was
Bootler.
like Baby Goomba. There was,
Oh, Watt. Did you find him in the whale?
Why has
yeah.
no fucking character at all?
Zero
Why-
character.
What is a baby like
Yes.
son or something? And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it's another one where it's like the sequel just outclassed it in every way.
Yeah, this is 100%.
There's like I think there's a bomb.
Yeah,
There is
Bombette.
Bombetta.
Bombette is such a non-character. It's like it's
Yeah,
hard.
compared to like Bombery, it's like,
Oh
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Koopa delivery guy. He's cool.
Oh yeah, he was cool. I actually like him.
Perry Carey, yeah.
Carry.
Parkery, Parry Kari, Parcel Kari, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, like
Marshall Corey? What?
this is Legend of the Seven. This is Mario RPG 2 in a sense. They have switched out the swords for the stars. Is what I would say. It exists and a plot has happened. I would say it's a 3.
And
A lot of
I do the same with Kirby. It's like a 2. We're just like.
I like
just-
the writing a lot of the Paper Mario games. They always have like fun writing.
I like the tasty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, taste the fucking toads and their stupid names. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will give RJ that. Like, there's
So-
some like interactions in there.
Like a
Like
fun
they're
shuffle.
amusing. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in that regard, the story gets like a 3. Also, Bowser stole that star rod from Kirby. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, the Star Rod is from the Kirby universe. He's not wrong. Either way, it looks like it's probably coming out of here with a 3, with 2 3s and a 2. So last thing is for its time. Yeah, this is like a very good looking for its time. This is probably like a top tier looking N64 game.
Mhm.
I can't really argue that.
Yeah, this is like good demonstration of N64 hardware. Play this game. Like it's very strong in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 3.
Mechanically, it doesn't have like the 5th gen wonkiness that so many 5th games will suffer from. Like there's no awkward camera shit. There's no weird control shit. It's just an RPG you play on the N64.
Of all the N64 games, it's maybe like the first one I could recommend someone who did not grow up with them to play, because even like, you know, Mario 64 and Banjo, like with the weird like C buttons to turn the camera and shit like that, and Ocarina is also, you know, it's like they're not they wouldn't age as gracefully as like Paper Mario, like the only RPG on the N64, just about.
64.
Hey, whoa!
Quest-
What about Quest 64? Yeah,
What about
whoa.
Quest 64?
Yeah, Quest
What about
64
Quest
and
64?
yeah, there's also Ogre Battle 64. So they're
Oh, yeah.
one of the 3 RPGs on the N64, and the only one that probably is worth playing now.
Yeah.
Wait,
Quest
we
64
forgot
was
the
up there.
'93 Mario Brothers film. No, I actually recently saw that again, and I kind of liked it, even though it's very bad. It was very amusing. But yeah, I'm going with the 3. This is like This is just solid. Honestly, it's just a solid fucking game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, who? No one forgets.
What?
The old Mario Brothers movie. Nobody forgets that.
Yeah, nobody forgets
Like,
that.
It's Universal Pictures, man.
What are you
No, it's
doing
not.
number wise though? Out of 3, what are y'all?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Woo wee! Because yeah, this has scraped by in the strongest of terms.
Damn.
Got an 80.
It has an 81.
Wow.
The OG
Yeah.
Paper Mario.
Sorry,
Ryan, get-
KOTOR, you're just not banger worthy compared to the Mario prowess.
It's okay.
He's too strong.
Did my giving the visuals a 4 like keep this game in the running?
See, Ryan? This is not a hater.
Yeah, I feel good about this. I'm like, yeah, no, people's dreams came true today.
Meanwhile, when your old pal Jim's just like, Ryan, could you give KOTOR a high score? You spit on me. You say, I've never played
No,
this
I would never spit on you for free. That costs extra.
All right, good.
And I never liked your spinach puffs. Never.
Well, Ryan, I believe you're the last to suggest.
I didn't think, because I've spent all this time playing this damn Kirby game, which is
Oh,
good.
this-
A damn good Kirby game.
I mean, you liked it, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I
Kirby.
did. I did like it a lot. I liked it. It's a very good game.
Thank you.
So I was not for RPG overload here.
Oh, let's do it.
but,
Let's go, dude.
I want to talk about Persona 4 Golden.
Well, good night, everybody. I'm making a
Oh,
drink,
anyone-
and
Has anyone else
You-
played
RJ,
That's just me and you, my guy.
Okay.
No,
RJ
it's
is the through
true.
line through
And
this whole
I
thing.
haven't even played Golden yet. I've only played.
You only
OG
played the
Persona
original?
4. So
How
It's
close
fine.
are they?
I won't know.
It's fine. I mean that you're missing very little. I mean, according to some people, you're missing everything, but like I don't. That's not. That I don't care.
It's something
I
I'll go back to someday.
The thing about it is that like the version of the only thing that would be actually that different would probably be gameplay, because the original version was a little harder. Like some bosses did not have weaknesses that they gained in the Golden re-release.
This is a Vita game? What the fuck?
I played it on a Vita.
It was originally a PS2 game.
It's really a PS2
Yeah.
game. If you buy it now, you're gonna get the golden version because they didn't re-release the original for obvious reasons, and
Yeah.
that's on like the PC, that's on Switch, that's
It just
on
came out,
Xbox.
actually.
Yeah.
The
Well,
PC
Golden
and
X-
Switch port.
Well, no, the golden port for PC came out
Yeah.
like a little bit ago, whereas
Yeah,
the
you're 3 and 4, or
three and 5 are
Five.
more recent.
Mm,
But yeah,
no, 5 is still on the Switch.
Yeah, that
no,
is-
I'm sorry, Persona 5. I'm thinking SMT5.
No, SMT5. Yeah, SMT5 is a different thing. Persona 5 was a different, but that's on the PS3 and
Just
4.
Intro to WCW NWO Revenge.
I
Yeah,
wish.
that's exactly what it is.
It's basically the same game.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
All right, I'm in.
So okay, Persona 4 Golden.
All right, go for
Which
it, man.
let's just call it Persona 4. Like let's not worry
Yeah.
too much about
I mean, we'll be discussing the whole every release, kind of, right?
there
That's usually
there
how we
is a
talk
there
about
is
it.
a character and like a different ending, but I didn't get them and I didn't really spend a lot of time with that character. So like I'm not
I
again
know
like I
nothing
said
about
like
that Marie character. She's weird.
Marie. Yeah, I didn't
I,
spend a lot of time with Marie. She's not the best.
For the record,
I
I've not played this game. So.
okay. So it's just you and me. Are we cool with that? If it's just being us two?
Yeah. I mean, we
That's
just live
fine.
with KOTOR.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we did do
I'll,
that
like,
Kotar, so let's do it.
I'll insert wherever it feels like I can.
Yeah.
Cultural relevancy. Okay. So cultural relevancy. I think this game actually does pretty well. Like it's like cult following is so big it's almost not a cult following anymore because it is especially after the release of Persona 5, which was a pretty big game. I feel like the demand for this game to get re-released and playable was big enough for it to actually happen,
Mhm.
and has been received pretty well. Most people who it's very hard to find someone who has played this game that doesn't really like it a lot. It's kind of one of those where like if you think you might enjoy this at all, you probably will.
Mhm.
And I think like if we were talking about this game back when it was on like on the PS2 and the Vita and only those platforms, I would maybe call this a little more niche. But now that it's just we're living in a post Persona 5 world, Persona 4 is probably the second most popular Persona game, and the Persona franchise has become pretty popular.
I'm going to say something that's going to sound weird, but given that we've talked about Mario, Kirby, and Star Wars, I think it's an odd feeling that I actually kind of feel like this is probably the most relevant of the 4 games we're talking about
Really?
culturally to like games nowadays.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, Kirby's a lot more niche than I think a lot of people realize, and Paper Mario and KOTOR 2 are pretty niche within their way bigger franchises. But I think Persona 4 like opened like video games to a lot of people that like maybe kind of played some video games. Like because when this game came out when I was in high school, there were a lot of people that were like I didn't realize played video games that were like super like into this game.
Nice.
And I think Persona 5 being a really, really popular game is on the back of Persona 4 in a way that has kind of gotten forgotten to some degree. But this game was actually pretty big for its time.
I think if I had to give it a score, it's like a 12. In terms of like being like relevance, because it's like this it basically is what got Persona into where it is now. Because like there's a freaking fighting game about it. There's the stupid dance spin-off game. There's the fucking TV show that got a golden edition of the TV show.
They remade the TV show. They did.
Yeah, like they like pushed for like Persona 4 to be like in everyone's faces, and I think it worked because everyone looked at it and then saw Persona 5 and was just like, oh, it's like Persona 4, and they got that.
Yeah. I feel like this game sat on the shoulders of Persona 3 and then Persona 5 sat on the shoulders of this game, and sort of it's just kind of escalated, and everyone who's gotten on that tower of games, I guess, ends up looking downwards and going like, oh, these games exist too. They look down all the way to Persona 3 and not past it, and we're not having the Persona 2 conversation right now.
Wait, what's
let's not go there.
What's happening? What is this?
It's a TV commercial for soda, I think, or water.
First, I guess
it's a melon soda,
like,
I think.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Like, keep in mind, this is like a JRPG coming out in 2009, and having stuff like this was kind of crazy.
This was like I mean, the Persona 3 does this more. Okay, so this is why this game is actually really culturally relevant. Persona 3 does this too, to be fair, but this is a very early example of a localized JRPG, like keeping like honorifics in people's names. Like people call each other Kun and San and Senpai and all that stuff. And especially when you consider like Persona 1, they like completely Americanized every name, and they
Fucking
changed
Mark,
the color.
man.
Did they have
Wonder
Izzy and
City and all this.
TK over there?
The willingness to make this really keep this game really Japanesey over in America and the Western world was kind of novel at the time.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it doesn't have the Japanese VO in it, like Persona 5 would eventually have.
I
Like
think
that was not an option.
I think Golden has it. Or at least
No, it
the
does not.
newest release of Golden. I think it's got
Maybe it does.
it's got Japanese and English.
Maybe it does.
VO.
Or something like that.
But like
I can
the
look it up
willingness to like accept the popularity of anime in the West and like lean into it for this game, it was kind of not like Persona 3 did it as well, but like this game kind of realized, like I think it was like when Jim was talking about like people that you didn't know played video games played this game. It's like people who like anime went out of their way and like don't care about video games went out of their way to play this because it kept its sort of identity in a way that JRPGs were still a little bit afraid of at this point.
Right.
Yeah, it's got the
And-
Japanese voices, by the way.
Like
Okay.
like there's like a acceptance of anime culture almost
hmm
today that wasn't there when this game came out. That almost like can somewhat be traced back to this game to some degree.
Yeah.
Where
Like
it's like
the-
there are people who like anime is just like My Hero Academia is like a huge thing now, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it's like bigger than like Naruto was when we were in school, and DBZ was maybe not DBZ because DBZ is like on a whole nother
Yeah,
stage,
that's just
but
a thing.
but like anime back when this game came out was a thing that was like, oh, like nerds at the anime club at your school know about this.
Mhm.
Where anime now is like a thing that like anyone who's under the age of 30 is familiar with the concept. And,
Weird times.
Go ahead.
and like you can kind of trace the like I'm not saying Persona 4 is the reason why anime is popular with normal people nowadays, but it coincides to some degree. Like the popularity of this game and Persona 5's popularity kind of rides along that same through line that anime in general did.
Like I recently they made it's a Persona 5 slot machine. And like an American, like not even a pachinko machine, like will be released and like be able to play in
777.
Vegas. Nanako's about to slap her dad in the ass.
No. Oh
There you
no.
go. Give it to him. We had a lot, and it was like, hey, and like there was like a Slack message like at work, and I was like, hey, I have this thing. Did you know this is weird? And you guys ever play the Persona thing? And like multiple people in our organization had a conversation about Persona games and like lit up about Persona. Like people you like, not just me, like people you wouldn't think, like project managers and shit, were like, oh yeah, I love Persona 5 and I play all these games and I played the old ones and like. Yeah, this game like got in people in a way that you didn't expect. I also will mention briefly
That was new.
the that's Marie. The Giant Bomb endurance run did a lot for this game. Like
what?
it really did. It's a very early Let's Play. It's a very iconic piece of content in terms of gaming content in general, as well as for that organization, that group. That endurance run is like quoted and remembered and beloved, and like I think it does that actually increased the stock of this game, and this game increased the stock of that website in like a pretty real way. But
Mhm.
that's an aside.
Right.
I would give this game I would I feel like I've talked myself into giving this like a 13.
Okay.
If I'm really honest, like this is probably I think even more than Final Fantasy in some ways. Like this is the JRPG series for people
Nowadays, yeah. I think.
nowadays. Yeah,
SMT finally coming. Oh god, I mentioned
Dude,
the
I'm
wrong
so disconnected. I have no idea what any of y'all are talking about at this point.
Okay.
I've not heard of any of these things that you were mentioning.
all right.
You've heard of
well,
Persona though, right?
Like, okay, until Smash, no.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
like that was. I was pretty much like, who the fuck is this? And then I looked into Persona, and I was like, what?
Damn.
You never even heard of Shin Megami Tensei for the Super
That-
Nintendo?
That one, yes. Persona, no.
Shin Megami Tensei for the Super Famicom, you mean?
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this
there's
is
that
all
too.
news to me. Like what y'all are saying.
Persona 5 has sold about 7 million copies for what it's worth.
That's not a lot.
Same number as Tekken 7.
Hey. Yeah, I'd give it like an 11.
11? Yeah.
I'll give it a 12.
Okay,
Like, it's
so
not Link
yeah,
to the Past.
you want
I'll give
12?
I'll give you that, but
So 2 12s and 11. I'm gonna give it a 0.
fuck off. Like these characters are in a Smash Brothers stage. Come on.
Oh, I've never even heard of Smash either. Like, I had no idea what the fuck's going on here. All right, so
this
it's got
game
12.
has its own fighting game spinoff.
It has
True.
so
Persona
many.
4
It has its
Persona
own
4 Arena.
Persona 4 Arena, which got an update. It has
Ultimax.
Ultimax. It has the rhythm game. It has that like
Oh, yeah.
dungeon
The
crawling.
dungeon crawler.
Wait, did everyone just like
Spin-off.
forget my list off?
No, I remember you just forgot
Oh.
this. You forgot the dungeon crawling spinoff.
I don't count that one
Why not?
because
Does he even play it?
Persona 3 characters are like ruined.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Fair.
What? Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 12. If you want to drag this game down with a 0, I guess I can't stop you. But that's really
What the
weird.
fuck? No, I'm
I
not.
think he was joking.
Yeah. No,
What was it?
I'm not weighing in on this. Yeah, it's a 12.
Okay.
Like,
On my list, my game that I developed has a 1. Like at least fucking
I like
Vampire.
Highway. I don't
that's not
let
really-
him talk you down. Highway's a good game.
Yeah.
Controls.
I'm gonna bounce out after this for a little bit, but when it gets to sound design and target visuals, you get full points for me, and then beyond that,
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
for the
just
rest of
because
this
I'm
discussion.
like keeping this down. So sound design, those are both 5. So I'm just gonna put a 5 for you here. Target visual, he's doing a 5. Cool.
yeah,
Got it down.
yeah. BRB
So-
folks.
So what's next?
Controls. I have no idea.
Oh.
It's all you.
Finally
Okay.
hit controls, huh?
They're really simple. Like there's really not much. Like he moves around in 3D.
RPG,
I'm
right? Is it just
Yeah.
okay? You can't
It's a
fuck
bunch
that
of
up.
menus. It doesn't have the super stylish menus of 5.
No.
But you want. I think this is a the camera controls are on the triggers game.
I don't
But
even
at
really
least-
being camera control barely, but yeah, I think you're
Well,
right.
when you're
In
in
the
when you're in the
dungeons.
dungeons.
Yeah.
When you're in the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All
Yeah.
the dungeons are like linear hallways.
They're
I'm
very-
not
it's a-
too-
yeah.
I wouldn't harp too badly on the camera because it's like the way the levels are designed, almost you forget the camera's there. Or
Yeah,
there's even
it's-
like a button you can press.
It's very streamlined, and it's also one of those games where the enemies are in the dungeon, like they're placed there, so you
Mhm.
can avoid them if you want, and then you can hit
Mhm.
them to get the first hit on them.
Mm-hmm. And let's
Um,
not forget fusing.
What?
Music's pretty simple.
The
My
fuck? are you-
favorite.
I
My
better just
favorite part of
hop
the
into this.
Persona and Shin Megami Tensei games is fusing together a bunch of different demons or personas together to get new creative guys.
Yeah, but it's pretty simple. Like
Yeah.
there's not control wise, it's the menu.
Mm-hmm.
This game's a
it's
lot
just
of
a menu.
Yeah, this game's a lot of menus.
Yeah,
Like it isn't. It's a Japanese.
So it's an
role-playing game.
RPG. It's a JRPG.
RPG.
Yeah. it's an
It's
RPG.
an RPG, and it is not an action RPG. There is no action in this game. So
Talk about bad luck.
take that for what it is. But yeah, I played it on a Vita and I had no issues with the control. Well, the Vita does have a second analog stick, I guess.
He is too.
Yeah. So I was to say like, without a second analog stick, this was no problem, but I didn't need to use it. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like what? It's all you. Like I have no idea.
what's the
The control. It's not 25. It's-
25. I'm just gonna give it a 25. Like there's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Like
you pretty much can't
yeah.
fuck it up. It's an RPG.
there's
Like,
nothing to fuck up.
Yeah.
all right. Yep,
It's got a
let's-
button to skip through dialogue like quickly if you wanted to. Like it does have that.
Old triangle.
Yeah, it's
System utilization. What is the deal with this game? I genuinely have
So-
no idea what the fuck this is. Like, what is the
So
deal with
what you're so the intro to this game is about an hour long, so you're not gonna see any combat for a very long
I
time.
better skip.
But yeah, like I said, you're gonna have to skip around a bunch to get any combat. But basically, like you get into a fight and you have, like your typical like JRPG menu of like attacks, skills, items, runaway, tactics, that kind of stuff.
So I need to get up for just a second. I'll be right back. You keep explaining.
Okay. Okay.
Alright.
So whenever you do get into combat, like one of the main way you deal damage to enemies is that all the enemies have like something they're weak to. So it could be any of the elements like fire, wind,
Oh no,
lightning.
there's types. Well, there's just types
ice.
in a sense.
Yeah, there's different types. And after you have found out what the enemy's weakness is, it'll flash up, say weak, and the enemy will get knocked down. And then you get something called one more, which is basically you get like another turn for that character. And if you can hit every enemy's weak spot, you just keep getting like another turn. And once you've done that, once you've knocked all the enemies down, you get to do an all-out attack, which is like all your team members like just like jump and just start beating the shit out of the monster, and you do like a crap ton of damage, usually killing them.
Is there like a puzzle aspect to that to try to figure out what they are weak to, or is it like something about their design tells you, or do you play around with attacks to try to figure that? Like, how do you figure it out?
So you're basically just guessing and playing around until you see a weak spot show up. Some enemies, maybe I think you can tell, like if they have if it's a guy that's casting a lot of fire attacks at you, you'll be like, okay, let me try using ice on him. But also, like once you've figured it out, there is a button that lets you scan or analyze an enemy, and it just flat out tells you like what you've tried against the enemy, whether or not they absorb the attack or if they're weak to it. So once you've learned it, then you can just check on an enemy whenever you want, just to know you're gonna cast the right spell on them.
Okay.
In addition to that, there's fusing personas, because as you win fights, there's a chance that you can gain a new persona, and all personas, like only the main character can switch his persona out, and all the personas are like basically like different gods or deities or spirits from different religious mythologies, and like you can get like a pixie from like like European mythology, or like you start off with like Izanagi, who is like a Japanese god. You could eventually get like Thor or Odin from like Greek mythology.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what in the fuck is going on here. What are you wearing?
She's
what
wearing
is
a
this?
Sphinx. It's a weird game.
What is this?
Yeah, that's the history teacher.
That's the history teacher.
Okay, see, that makes more sense. Okay, I was just like, are you just sitting up here like a pharaoh outfit? What the fuck?
I'm sorry. Does the history teacher wearing a pharaoh outfit make more sense? Does it really? Like,
Yeah, like you're doing like you're doing a
that.
history bit. That makes more sense than I just wear this. Like,
yeah.
I was just very thrown off by that. I
Okay.
had no idea what the hell was going on. But
So okay, you've been explaining the fusion system, I'm guessing.
I was explaining how the combat worked, and now I'm on to the fusion system.
Okay.
Or like how you like gain personas and stuff, and basically like each persona has their own individual stats, and when you fuse two of them together, or three, you start to get new personas, and their stats carry over. Sometimes they'll like learn skills from like the other monsters, and they show up on the other one, so you can like customize your personas to how you want, how you like to play, or like what preferred skills you got, and use that in combat. And then on top of all that, you're like managing your party members. Like you don't have to really worry about the equipment too much. Like you change like their like weapons and armor, but like their individual personas like will like level up and get their own skills, and so they'll all be good at like certain things. While the main character is like the one you customize the most.
I've literally forgotten like where the fuck we are on system utilization. Yeah, like how's this all coming together? Like
How it all comes together, I think it uses like everything. There's no shoddy mini games to weigh you down. Boss fights are pretty unique and interesting. Like they'll have you like doing certain stuff, but it's not like a gimmick. It's just like for this fight, it's like a special thing that you are dealing with. And I think it just happens to use everything very well. So I would probably give it, I guess 20.
damn, you're maxing that out. All right.
I would say this game is very like from a tech side, like it's a PS2 game, like it's a late PS2 game that got ported to a bunch of things, right? And like it's its environments and it's like I mean visual not so much visuals, but like the amount of like unique environments in this game are actually pretty low. Like it's pretty much just like it's the downtown area, it's your house, it's the area by the river, and then the dungeons are all like randomized, like cookie cutter, like a bunch of rooms and hallways that are just connected together, and like there's a set of stairs on each floor, and you go up to all the floors, and like once you're at the top floor, you fight the boss. Um, and the gameplay, like the RPG mechanics are very much based off of like it's a linear like the fusion system of this game is very in line with like the summoning of the previous SMT games. So it's very much building on a concept. Like it's not a whole cloth new thing. Um, but what I think it does really well is getting the most out of all that stuff. Like those couple of places that you visit over your like over the 80 some hours you spend playing this game, like really have a sense of place to them. And like the amount of unique things that they need you to do, because it's not like you get a core group of personas and like those are the ones you use for the whole game. Based on what the dungeon is and what enemies are in it and what the bosses are going to be, you're constantly trying to like, okay, this thing is weak to this and it's only used its attacks like this, so if I had a persona that was resistant to that and could do these kinds of attacks, I could do. So you're constantly like re-sacrificing and refusing and rebuilding your whole team all the time. And like it forces you to really think about it forces you to really like think a little more tactically as opposed to just like grind up levels. The other big gameplay thing here is the social aspect.
Completely
like
forgot about
yeah.
that.
So the story, a lot of the story and a lot of the narrative comes out in it's the way the game's structured is that there will be like the incident will happen, right? And you need to go into the TV world and go through the dungeon and beat the boss and save the person and whatever. And you basically have some number, like it tells you like what is the thing? It's like, oh, fog will come into the town, and when fog rolls into the town, then the person actually ends up like the person who was kidnapped or whatever ends up they find them dead. So you have a limited amount of time, a limited amount of in-game time, almost like a Pikmin game, to like level up your characters, go through the dungeon, and save the person. Every day you have a choice to, after every school day, you have a choice to either go into the dungeon or you can spend time with one of your party members, one of your friends. Or you can do, I think this game has part-time jobs, doesn't it?
Damn, yep, it was like Shenmue.
It has some extra stuff. You can shop for more items, you can do things, but you're spending time to do that. If you do that during the day, you're not going to be able to go back into the dungeon and grind up things or try to beat the boss or whatever. The thing is, though, a big part of the fusion system and one of the big sum of its parts things it does really well is so all the characters are in this like social link concept where if you spend time with them and you get enough almost like affection points with them, their social link will increase. Every character is associated to a certain arcana, which each persona is related to a specific arcana. If you tarot cards, yeah. So when you're fusing a new persona, it'll tell you like, oh, this is like the moon arcana, or this is the the heart arcana, or this is whatever. If you have leveled up your social link with a character whose arcana is related to the persona that you're fusing, you get bonus levels. So the choices you make socially influence the choices you make tactically. And so it kind of blends some of like this is the main hook it uses to blend the storytelling with the gameplay. Because depending on who you spend time with is going to affect what personas you want to fuse and like how you decide to make that team. Ideally, it's that sometimes it's like, hey, if you go into this dungeon and you have these two guys, you fuse them together, you're gonna get a guy who's just like super overpowered and it's great. But like when it's all working together, like that's the system they're trying to build. And so it's while these games are very much appreciated for their story, like this is very much like a story game. Like it's the characters, it's the journey you go on with them, like it's all that stuff.
The gameplay.
That's why you play them. The gameplay connects to it in a really interesting way, and so I feel like some of its parts, more than anything, is probably what this game excels at.
Do you both just want to like kind of skip around, like give some of its parts a 7 out of 7?
Yes.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
Some of its parts gets a 7 out of 7.
And then
Yeah.
back to system utilization, which is out of 20. What are you? RJ has given it a 20. What about you?
Oh, system utilization.
Can you help me do some stuff around the house?
Like all the stuff that you mentioned just now, just like
Yeah.
reinforced my my 20.
Reinforced
Yeah.
just you.
I was like, yeah.
I think I will also give it a 20.
Alrighty, easy peasy. 2 categories and one conversation. Conveying information. How
This game
how to
is-
convey it to you as a new Persona player? How long did it take you to get it?
It's a little confusing at first. Like there's a lot of systems to think about. I'll say that. I would say like story-wise, narrative-wise, it's fine, but like the whole system where like you can transfer skills from one persona into like if you fuse it, it can then be like some of its skills can go to the persona you're fusing, but that's based on your arcana level, and like that being a system is a little weird at first. The whole all-out attack thing of like, oh, you have to down every enemy and then do this thing, like that can be really weird. Oh, and shuffle time. This stuff is a little weird too.
They changed this. That's what
Yes, this is the
this was
Persona
not
4
an
Golden
original.
thing. I forget what happens in the original. Like when you fight how do you get the new personas? Do they just? is
like
it
you
random?
do the shuffle thing, but like you don't choose. It's like random. It's like a little ring. And then
Oh,
you, like...
it's random in this one too. I think they're playing on easy.
Oh, okay.
If it's you playing on normal or hard or higher. So this game, the Golden added difficulty levels.
Mhm.
I think the original just was like the normal difficulty. So we're talking about. Sorry, we're talking this.
So,
fucking-
did we
Conveying
even
information.
where
Conveying
the fuck are we?
information.
Okay, convey
Um,
information.
I would say
Out of 8.
Well, let me look at this. 8. I would probably give it like a 6.
6? Okay, RJ.
Considering this is like my second Persona game, I guess I kind of knew what I was getting myself into after playing 3. I suppose, yeah, I guess like I would say like some of the stuff could be confusing, like learning the what skills you're definitely what skills you want to keep and like what you want to like focus on, and like having to I guess like choose what you want to do in terms of like making your character up. But it's like it's not too complicated, I want to say. But I guess 6 would probably be
6 is
I guess a
accurate.
good number for it. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And then Jim has given a sound design a 5. What about both of you?
I love the fucking music in this game.
Yeah, the
So
music in
good.
this game is so good.
In
Anything
terms of
else?
sound effects, because it's not just a soundtrack, they're really it's really basic sound effects.
Mhm.
I think the like confirm menu sounds all sound very distinct. Like I can hear the UI still,
Mhm.
even for not even just for 5, because 5 is very special, right? But this game too has its own like flair and style to it. It's just a little more subtle.
Mhm.
I think that does come out in the sound design. What you said 5 is out of 5.
Yep.
I'd probably give it a 4.
Alrighty.
It's just a little. It's a little simple.
What about you, RJ?
Probably go with a 4 too.
All right, 4, 4, 5. We'll probably dumb it down to a 4. So, moving on to targeting visuals. Mine is a 3.
What's that, a 6?
It's out of 5.
Out of 5. It's tough because like when this was a PS2 game, it looked like a really nice PS2 game, and since they have ported it, it looks like a port of a PS2 game. They did not. They have never tried. I mean, they maybe have cleaned up the textures a little bit. Like it's sharper than it,
I
than
want
it
to see
looked back
something.
then.
I'm gonna have a look at old Persona 5 real quick.
Oh, that's not a favorable comparison. Persona 5 is a much nicer looking game.
Persona 5 looks
Um,
way more like in full-on anime.
That's
Yeah.
what I think they're going for. However,
It is what they're
is my
going
point.
for.
This is
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
going for, and that's.
It's
my-
also just like more detailed, more vibrant, more. It's more. Like this game has fabricated, like intentionally designed dungeons. It doesn't have the like
Mhm.
randomized. It's like, oh, this is like a zone, this is an area, and they've handmade this whole thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whereas this is, and like the detail in downtown Shibuya is like amazing, and like all that's Persona 5.
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a
lucky.
good looking
Yeah.
game.
Because
Like
but
this
I've-
game's UI looks better than most video games.
Yeah, I remember like the UI for that game was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy the game just for the UI.
It's absurdly detailed and absurdly stylish. Where this is, what are we out of?
it's only out of 5.
Out of 5. I like the way this game looks. I mean,
Mhm.
it's for its time, it looked really nice, but given the fact they've ported it
Yes.
multiple times and they haven't like cleaned up a lot of things, I think the character art looks good.
Like all the like character, all the
Anime
character art,
UI
like,
stuff,
for-
yeah, looks good. Outdoor
Yeah.
looks very, very weak. The indoors fare
Yeah.
a little bit better, and then the character models are also like a bit shot. Yeah, I definitely like. I look at Persona 5, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably what you wanted, but you just didn't do
Yeah.
it. You couldn't do it here, even
No.
though I think the PS2 could at least do the character model portion.
I think the other distinction to make between 5, because you compared it to 5, Persona 4 takes place in a small town. It's kind of supposed to be in like rural Japan,
Yeah,
whereas Persona 5 takes place in like Tokyo.
which is like I don't think that favors well. Like the PS2 definitely like it did better with indoor, more mechanical looking thing. Like the battle scene here is like it's fine. The moment you go
Yeah.
outdoors, it's like oof.
It's a little
Oof,
rough.
man, that you're looking
Um,
rough though. You can't do the nature part very well.
I will give this a 4. I will admit that the character models look a little simple, and subsequent ports have not helped it in that regard. Like this, looking this blown up on a big screen as opposed to my Vita, it definitely takes a hit.
Kind of embarrassing, you know? You two
But
really need to
it's-
see my hidden
I think the visual design is good.
Oh.
It's just technically a little lacking.
Mhm.
Uh,
I
what are
would probably also sit at a 4.
So,
Not a 4.
what was it
Okay.
like?
So okay. So 4, 5, 4, 3.
With this. Oh, I nearly forgot. None of that happened when yours
16
awakened, huh?
keeps it at a 4.
Happy because you've got nothing to hide?
We've already slanted on the 7 for some of its parts. Fun factor. What are we doing?
I have fun with this game all the time. It's 6.
Okay.
I might that that's out of 6.
I don't know.
There's. I like this game. I like the combat in this game. Like
This game,
90
ready for a special invitation?
90% of the time. There's a couple weird optional bosses and encounters that kind of feel like bullshit. Because it's a Shin Megami Tensei game, and it's just gonna have like this is it. People joke about this being like the most casual like for entry level Shin Megami Tensei game there is. Sometime during your playthrough, someone is going to do the like an enemy's gonna go for the like the low percentage instant death spell. It will hit your main protagonist. You will lose an hour of progress. That will
Yep.
happen.
Yes.
Every playthrough of these games, like that will happen at least once.
Yeah,
Like
damn.
it does have some like super bullshit things in it. That really it keeps me from giving it like super full points. It's like it's also like a turn-based RPG and in like not the most exciting game. Like it's not super duper exciting to play. I do like the fusion system a lot, like RJ said. Like it's cool, but
What are you giving it?
give it like a 5.
Okay. 5 and 6 will come out to be the 6th. So moving on
All right, let's go.
to its story. Okay, yeah. So this is all y'all. I have no. What is the
this?
story about?
I
And
think
what are we talking
the
about?
I think the reason I brought this up, I think the reason I thought of this is when like Jim said this is his favorite story in games. I think this is my favorite story in games.
There's all the video, the whole thing. This is it.
What?
All video games. This is the
All
story.
video games? Yeah.
That
I think this
shit.
is my favorite storytelling.
So
I
I
think
should
this
play
is my
it.
favorite. Like this is definitely my favorite cast of characters in an RPG. Like bar none.
Really?
Uh,
Damn, that is
Have you played Yakuza Like a Dragon yet? Right?
And I have not. Okay, fine. Fine. But like, I feel like the way, like the themes explored in this game and the way they relate back to gameplay, there aren't a lot of things. Nier is also very high on that list. Maybe like as far as like a JRPG story goes, I feel like this is probably very high on the list. Like I like this story more than I like the Persona 5 story.
Yes.
I
Damn,
like
dude.
this cast of characters better. It also has like Mario Kart syndrome, where it's like the first one you play is the one you like the most because that's the cast of characters. Like these to me are the Persona characters. The other guys are like the new people they brought in, and like the Persona 3 people are like the old Persona characters. Right? It's always your frame of reference is always gonna be the first one. Like my frame of reference for Mario Kart is 64. My frame of reference for Persona is Persona 4.
Really? Man, mine. Yeah, I think like.
But I
like
think the way
64.
there's the whole I mentioned the like you build the relationships with the characters and like that boosts
What
up
is
your
this
arcana.
guy doing with the song?
Yeah,
Is he
hand
is he
puppet.
He's a
Mr.
hand puppet of
Garrison?
himself.
I think he's the speech teacher.
No, he's a literature teacher or something, right?
Okay.
They're like reading things.
Or something
So I think the other thing this thing explores really well is just the idea of like limited time. Doesn't get talked about a lot, but so you have a limited number of days to do every objective, right? And you have a limited number of times to spend time with your friends, to explore their stories as well, and you have to balance that with the responsibility of you having to like do the actual like video game objective, right? If you look online now, you can definitely look at a guide that will tell you how to like 100% min-max this game.
Oh,
and, like, do
optimize it.
every-
Yeah. But like, you can't do that on a normal playthrough, probably.
It's not a normal playthrough. Like if you know what you're doing, you can do it. But the idea, like the concept, like the theme of like your time in this town, your time in the school year, your time to complete your like responsibilities as well as spend time with your friends is limited, and you have to balance them. Kind of is a really big part of the story for me. Like it's a like a theme and like a it's not a trope, but it's like a theme and like a lesson I've taken away from this game that I still think about. Which is
Damn.
not a thing I can say about other video games very easily.
Ryan's
that
a
idea
6,
of just
basically,
like
is what he's saying.
Sorry, what'd you say?
You're a 6, basically, is what you're saying.
I'm sick. Yeah, sorry.
No. Oh my
but-
god.
But like, yeah, that idea of just like this person is dropped. So your character is not named, but you give them a name. But he's from out of town. He's going to be living with this like it's his cousin. It's his uncle.
It's his uncle, yeah.
It's
And
uncle.
He's not just from out of town. Remember, he's from a big city, moving
Big
into
city.
moving into like some backwater country town.
Yeah.
With, like nothing.
And he makes these friends over a school year, and he has this huge responsibility on his shoulders, and he's only going to get to spend a year with these people. And all of the decisions you make will, like I said, affect gameplay based on how much time you get to spend trying to level up your characters. It will change what characters you get to like fuse, and it just changes what stories, like individual stories with the characters you get to see. The best parts of the stories are the individual character, like learning what, when you first meet Yusuke, he's like kind of just some dude. He's like some dude who gets himself stuck in a trash can, and you're like, what's this guy's problem? And then as you explore his story, he actually has interesting things in his life. He has anxieties, he has things he'd like to achieve. Like he has a whole he's a fairly round character. All the characters are, but
Yeah.
you have to be willing to sacrifice the time to see it. And
Mhm.
like that theme is so. That's what makes this game's story so strong. Like Yusuke is cool. Like he's fine. Or
When I
Yosuke
think
is cool.
of the characters from Persona 4, like I love the characters of Persona 4 more than I like the characters in Persona 3. I think Persona 3 has like a way better like story, I feel. But like how in 4 you're basically like having to choose whether or not you want to spend time with like your friends or save the world and all that good stuff. In Persona 3, it has something to that effect where you're spending time between like exploring the dungeon and also like building up social link with other characters. But in Persona 3, I don't know why for some reason it feels like this, like you are putting on like different masks as you talk to people and trying to tell people what they want to hear in order to get like the best result out of it. And like in that way you kind of feel like you are some like manipulator in Persona 3, where in Persona 4 it felt like way more natural, like talking with people. Like because you can relate with these characters based on like things that they're going through, and like depending on like if you relate with them well enough, you're able to get like better results and stuff. Whereas compared to 3, you're more mechanical about it or like more manipulating about it. And I love the dichotomy between those two games in terms of like how they present their story and characters.
I think the fact RJ actually like went into detail about the story instead of like a meme actually speaks to it. Honestly.
Yeah, Persona 3, like your party members are cool, but like one of them like wants to be a fighter and he's weird. The other one's like some like hoity-toity like student council president rich, like farcically rich person. Another character's a robot. Like it's a little, whereas like these are like kids, like these are like high school students, and they're sort of, they act like kids and they sort of talk like kids, but like they have their own thing going on and you relate to it.
They have like very simple like goals in life, whereas like because you mentioned the guy that wants to be a fighter. Like I don't know anybody in real life who's like, oh, when I grow up I want to be a fighter. Like Yosuke is like, I want to leave town, I want to go see the city. Yukiko's like, I'm gonna go take over like my like family business. It's like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like Yukiko wants to take over, like is being raised to take over the family business, and sometimes dreams about what else she could do with her life. And like you explore this story of like, well, you have all this potential, but you feel stuck in this town, and you don't know if you want to be stuck in this town, and like there's something going on there that like a Japanese role-playing game does not usually get into. Like Rise is this model and she's taking this break and she doesn't know if she actually still wants to do this, and it makes her feel uncomfortable, and like that's a whole storyline thing. There's a lot to go into, and you can't see every single one, like again, unless you look at the guide to min-max the thing. You have to make choices about which stories you want to see. And I think that's why I think this is the best JRPG story.
See, that's what I think is like just a good game story of like period. Like you can't split the game. The game matters. Like that's is all interwoven. Like that's what should be happening with this medium, not just like it's a fucking movie. Last of Us, no.
Yeah, I mean there is an anime and it's kind of dumb.
It's like a super distilled version of the
really
game.
Weird. Yeah, it's okay. It manages to feel even more thin than the video game, and the video game, like I said, it's like a couple of school hallways, your house, the downtown area, and then the dungeons. It somehow managed to feel even more limited.
Yeah, and this is also, I'm going to bring up Persona Q again. The reason why I don't like Q is because all the character development that the characters in 3 and 4 go through are like wiped away. The slate is clean, and it's like all these characters that I like have spent time with are now acting like how when I first met them, and I didn't like them.
Yeah, I've heard the complaint that it feels like fan fiction. It feels like people love these characters so much, we just have to put them in something.
Yeah.
But the fact that they like built a whole side game out of people love these characters so much, we have to put them in something is sort of saying something about the strength of
these
like,
characters.
this game story. Like the actual story in this game, the like supernatural people getting thrown into TVs is like fine, like it's cool. It's set dressing to explore, these personal character anecdotes, but it's not. That's not why you
reason.
should get into this game. It's fine. It's interesting. There's a cool twist at the end, and it's like that's neat.
Basically,
But
they're
it's not
saying
a-
6. Their score for this is 6, and their score for its time is also a 3. They're pretty much going to max those
Yeah.
things out.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we're gonna bypass that and just say, yeah, this score is a certified Hood Classic 93.
Damn,
Nice.
it deserves it.
Yeah.
The way you're talking about it, Jesus Christ. Apparently,
Yeah.
I can't
Really?
believe you guys weren't just looking at all this beautiful UI and were like, "This is not a 5 on the visuals." This
It's
is
just
like,
not.
this is like
Shut
this is like the first stylish video game ever made.
Persona 3 is also
Rez is pretty
stylish.
stylish.
Res is pretty stylish.
Oh,
This game does not have Persona 5's UI, and I think that's the
Sure.
issue.
But
Mhm.
that's because Persona 5 grew off of this UI.
Yeah, it kinda
I just
did.
remember being like, "This game looked sick."
I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
more
does.
you want. It's already on the Hood Classic list. Like, what more are you trying to gain here?
I was just like,
Will you
"Easy
stop?
5, see you guys," and then I come back and you're like, "Oh, this is kind of like the ugliest game I've ever played."
I mean, it is the ugliest game I've ever played. Do you fucking see this? Look at this shit. It's like a kindergartner through these characters. God damn. I'm disgusted with you people.
Yeah,
Oh,
good game.
you think we got time for at least one more?
I'm cutting it at the strict 4,
That's fair.
but
Yeah.
Persona 4 has made the Gen 6 seems to be like the Gen 5 and 6 is definitely getting like a lot of the attention. So it seems
Well,
To be fair, I
PS2
played this
era
game. Yeah,
is
I-
powerful.
I
It
played
is,
this
like-
game on a Vita and not on a PS2. So to
I'm just
me,
going
this
with like
is
its OG thing.
a Gen 6 game,
7.
7 game. But
Yeah, but it's like original releases.
I played on the PS2.
There you go.
I think I played it on the PS2 once. I think Jim, you lent me a copy of it, and I played like through the first dungeon, and it was like, it's pretty good. Why is this person's face on it though?
They like the game.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Oh.
everything.
It's,
So
it's over 90.
yeah, okay. So games that should have like the certified meme face: Street Fighter 4. Let's see what else has over a 90. I better be like highlighting these too. I need to highlight them in.
You have to
Fountains
watch
of
the old
orange.
streams.
No, I wrote down all the scores as well. Sekiro is also another one.
Windjammers.
Man, Windjammers. Glad we got to talk about that one.
Fucking Last of Us, of course. I
Someone
mean,
watch the show at all? I've
I
watched the
would
first
throw up.
episode.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart DS, obviously. Like
no,
that is like a
It's just it's just like the game, the show.
Mario Kart DS.
Absolute
Walked out
classic.
with the certified
The show
and
actually
Persona 4.
expands.
What's the highest scorer so far?
I refuse to believe that in the old streams, Resident Evil 4 did also not come out with above a 90.
I think Resident Evil 4 was like Ocarina and Dark Souls, where we gave it like
These were like the
this-
games that are like pretty much
You're basing this thing.
kind
on.
of
Yeah.
like tying the other ones together.
mhm.
And then I want to say 64 probably also made off with it.
I feel like what we're doing is we're making two lists because now we have like the bangers list and now we have like a separate like
Who is
exalted
this person?
list.
Who is
Yeah,
this person?
looking
Those are the drippy bangers.
Yes.
the
To,
drippy
to,
bangers.
to me, I don't know.
I think if
Listen.
you got a drippy banger, you need to go to the doctor.
Way ahead of you, pal.
Nice.
What I don't. Yeah, this is weird. I don't,
Anyway, before we go, 007 Nightfire. All right, so
Listen,
cultural relevancy.
That
Because
could be how
last
we
time-
start.
15. Controls. I mean, like that's the apex of shooters. So
look,
25.
Ow, ow,
Oh yeah, it's the
ow.
apex of shooters already.
I know you were gone for a while, but you can't
Just-
just bring in
Um,
007 out of nowhere.
utilization. It's like a 20.
Chill out, man.
Clean 20. Conveys information. If you want to
You want to have the best time
Yeah.
of your life fighting Black Ops, and you don't know if he's a competent Black Ops or a shitty
Or
Black
is
Ops.
it incompetent Black Ops? That information is conveyed at your death.
I did forget about the Black Ops meta, and like, yeah, that was pretty good.
That was
That was a
fucking.
pretty... What was the thing? It was like you could make the AI dumb, but give them a lot of armor or something like that. What was
Use
that
a very,
word?
very.
You could
tough...
really customize the
That stuff was
PS2 multiplayer AI. That game's rules.
That game was a hood classic. All right, so let's keep that on the list. So for future us, 007 Nightmare will be next on the chopping block.
Some of its parts, 7%.
I'm gonna have to find a copy. I'm gonna have to. I guess I can. What version of it?
I mean,
nothing to see here,
played
folks.
the single player.
We're getting out of here. Have a good night, y'all. Good night.
Are we having fun yet?